Hey, everybody. Almost got a frog in my throat there. Um, well, welcome to yet another watch along, and hopefully, well, that little signal thing went away. It just does it at random times, including when Candace and I were trying to do our debut episode of Friday Foolish. But hopefully, it'll stay away because sometimes that messes with the video and stuff. So, hey, Blissful. Hey, Batman. Batman, you said it's your fourth fave Michael Keaton movie. I'm willing to bet probably Batman is your first favorite Michael Keaton movie, but I don't know that for sure. But I'm just kind of betting on it. But anyway, this is the copy. This is like a really, I hate to say it, but generic copy, generic Blu-ray of this because there's really the only special feature it's got is a theatrical trailer for Multiplicity. There's no commentaries or anything like that, which would have been really cool if they could have had like a Michael Keaton, Andi McDowell commentary or something on it. But sadly, I don't see that. But this is, it says Republic Pictures and it says Columbia Pictures and all that. So I'm not sure why they didn't, put a little more on that disc. But that is what we're doing the watch along tonight for. Now it looks like Candace and Chris are both going to join me tonight. They are waiting backstage. I did want to show off some things that I was planning on using for the movie Munchies today. They didn't make it in time, so I had to reschedule. But this is the skull bowl that I will be putting that chili con carne in. I thought it looked pretty cool. Some people complained about the bowl because it wasn't ceramic. But I'm like, what's it matter if it's ceramic or not? As long as I can put some chili con carne in it, I don't care. So that'll be for next week. I also got an Evil Dead 2, like one of those things that looks like a rustic metal sign. And I'm going to be using that as a prop. And then these little skull spoons I got for the Terror Time tea because there's like a set of 5 of them. I really like this one because it's kind of like a tie-dye type of color. It's multicolored, but there's 5 of them. I think that's like a rose gold, and then there's a gold one and a silver one and a black one. So I might change up those, but enough about that. I'm going to go ahead and add Candace and Chris. So Chris is first, so I'm going to go ahead and add him, and then I'll add Candace. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Dana. How's it going?
Good. I'm ready to watch Multiplicity again with you guys and comment on it and all that.
Me too. This is my favorite Michael Keaton movie.
This is your all-time favorite one?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have so many favorite Michael Keaton movies. I like him in everything he's in. It's hard to pick a.
Yeah, same thing with Candace. Once you get her on here, she'll tell you all about it. Of course, her favorite movie of all time is Beetlejuice, so that's going to be her number one Michael Keaton movie, I think.
So we'll go ahead and add Candace here. Hey, Candace.
Hey, Dana. Hey, everybody in the chat. Hey, Chris.
Hey. Haven't seen you in a while.
How's everybody been doing?
I've been doing pretty good today.
Good. I've been waiting for this. I whenever you told me that you were doing a watch along for this, I was like, I have to join this if that's okay, because
Now, Beetlejuice is your favorite movie of all time, but so would that obviously mean that that's your favorite Michael Keaton movie?
Of course, yeah. But Multiplicity is probably my top 5. I know it's in my top 5 favorite Michael Keaton films. I love
my
it.
favorite.
It's just it's one of those films that me and Chris we quote to each other all the time.
Oh,
You know,
God.
Yeah, it's very, very quotable. Yeah.
Just just the humor in it alone is completely fits me to a T
mhm.
because I mean there's a lot of stupid stuff in it, but but I love stupid stuff in comedies. My favorite comedy of all time is probably Dumb and Dumber.
Mm.
So I mean that's as stupid as it gets there, with the humor.
Just needs stupid. You don't need anything that's gonna make you have to think very
Yeah,
much.
yeah, nothing you have to like sit and analyze over and over to kind of like understand what's going on in the movie. It's like, you just need something to kind of like sit back, relax, and just
Mhm.
laugh at. It's that's what I love.
I love
That's
Michael
what you
Keaton.
need on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah,
Or
definitely. I love Michael Keaton. He's my favorite actor of all time. So, I'm gonna like anything that he's in, even if it's probably not any good. But this is definitely in my top 5. I love it. I love Gung Ho, Dream Team.
Oh, Dream
Mm,
Team's
yeah.
great too. Mr. Mom, I love Mr. Mom.
Well, Mr. Mom is probably my second favorite Michael Keaton
Now,
film.
Candace, I can't remember if I asked you this before, but have you seen My Life with Michael Keaton in it?
Excuse me. You had asked me about that. That is one that I've never seen.
Now that one's, definitely not comedy, and
Yeah,
I would caution people
yeah.
that Michael Keaton plays a man who's essentially he's dying of terminal cancer. And he's leaving like a video diary for his unborn child. That's basically what the movie's about. It's a very, very good movie, but you better have your box of tissues handy because you're gonna cry every time I watch it.
The
Yeah,
comedies I've seen, I've probably seen every comedy that he's in.
Hmm.
But some of the more serious ones I've yet to see. I don't know. I tend to go towards comedies more than anything, but and I do like White Noise. Some people I know don't like that film, but I like it. I
Yeah,
like
that
it.
was good.
yeah.
What?
I'm the same way that I do kind of go towards the comedies of Michael Keaton. Um, I've heard of that movie, My Life, but I've never seen it.
Hmm.
Um, but I just like Hannah's. I'm a huge fan of Michael Keaton's stuff. Like everything I've seen him, I've enjoyed.
Yeah.
There's a movie they made probably 10 or more years ago that has Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell in it called The Other Guys. It's like one
Oh
of
yeah.
those buddy cop movies, and Michael Keaton's in it, and he's the police chief or whatever. And
Hmm.
then all throughout the movie, he keeps making these references to TLC songs, like "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls" and stuff like that. And it like it fits. I think he was the perfect person to get for that role to deliver those lines
Hmm.
because Michael Keaton is like, he's a comedic actor, but like in a lot of his comedies, he like stays serious, but it's funny. Like if you look at the movie Night Shift, and
Yeah.
a lot of the delivery of his lines in Night Shift is like he's trying to come off across as serious in that character that he plays, but it's hilarious
Yeah.
everything that he says in the movie.
I take
So
that back. Night Shift is my second favorite Michael Keaton film. It's actually one of my favorite films of all time. It probably is in my top 10 favorite films of all time. Um, if Beetlejuice was out of the picture, Beetlejuice is my favorite just because it's been my favorite ever since I've ever known, about movies. But Night Shift would definitely be the number one if Beetlejuice wasn't there because I just that film is hilarious.
Hmm. What
yeah,
wasn't Michael Keaton? Now, didn't he play like a? I hate to say this, but a crazy guy in the movie Pacific Heights. Wasn't he in that? Or
I've
am I
never
thinking
seen
of
that.
another movie?
He might have been. I've never seen it though, so I'm
There
not for
was
sure.
one movie.
I've never seen that one either.
me look that up because I don't want to be talking, wrongly about.
And you said that he plays like a crazy person in it.
What he did. No, this is when I need TJ here because, let's see, so Melanie Griffin, Matthew Modine, and Michael Keaton are all in this.
Yeah, I've never seen that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the one where he plays a crazy guy. He's like a complete nut job on this.
Yeah, the only movie I know of that where he plays a crazy person is Dream Team.
Yeah.
They all play like crazy. They're like a mental institution, and I love that because especially that scene when they're like going out on that trip to go to that baseball game, and they're sitting all in that van, and Michael Keaton's like trying to scare. I think it's Christopher Lloyd or. It was one of them in there in the van. He was trying to scare him, and he's like, "Did you ever see that movie Wolfen?" And he starts going, "Oh!"
Yeah.
I love that movie, man.
But Dana, I have seen that. I have seen that film, Pacific Heights. Chris, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're fine. Go ahead.
My mom was watching that one time. He's like, they got like a house or whatever. I looked it up, and I've seen the because whenever you mentioned Melanie Griffith, I was like, wait, I think I've seen that. I didn't know what it was called. My mom was watching it one time. Yeah, he's little.
Yeah,
nuts. So
I hate to say nut job, but I mean, he pretty much is in that.
Yeah.
But I was going to look at some of the comments we've got in here. I didn't want to miss anybody in the. Batman said, yes, correct. Both Batmans 1 and 2 followed by Beetlejuice. So the Batman movies with Michael Keaton are his first favorite, and then Beetlejuice is his second. Chris,
Batman Returns is. Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to say Batman Returns is my favorite of the Batman movies. Like of any Batman movie that's come out, Batman Returns is my favorite. I mean, and they're all great, especially the original's great, with Jack Nicholson as a Joker, but like with you got that combination of Danny DeVito as a Penguin in there, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, then you got Christopher Walken's also in the film, and I consider it a Christmas movie. Whenever I make Christmas movie list, that Batman Returns is always on there for me, and. I just love the set and of everything because it's got this gothic style like how all Batman films are, but it's also like it's snowing and it's around the Christmas time in that film, and it just I don't know, it's just there's something beautiful about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of movies that people don't think of right off as being Christmas movies. For a long time, I didn't even think of Die Hard as a Christmas movie, but technically it is a Christmas movie if you watch it. But let's see, we've got two Chris's in here. We've got Candace's Chris live on the stream, but Chris C is also in here, so I'm glad to see Chris here.
Chris C, the slasher dude.
Yep.
Okay. I can't see the chat right now. I just was asking.
Yeah, he always says evening all / the like. I appreciate that. He comes up with creative ways to tell people to hit that like button. Let's see. Blair's in here. Hey, Blair. And Batman says that my bow looks killer. He says it'd be like chili brains. Yeah, pretty much. Blissel says she's loving the skulls. Yeah, I'm trying to. I guess I've got a skull thing going. Blissel says hi, Chris and Candace.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Batman says I like pizza. Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
That's the best quote of the whole movie.
Yeah, one of the best lines.
And Blair did mention Jack Frost, not the horror Jack Frost, but the Jack Frost with Michael.
I like Jack Frost. It's sad though.
Yeah. Blissful says just laugh and enjoy. Yes, sometimes, with comedies, like I said, you don't want something that you got to really think about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know too many comedies that are overcomplicated, but there are some out there, I know. And
Yeah.
it's like, why would you do this? Because a comedy is just supposed to be fun. You're not
Mhm.
supposed to have to, like Chris said, you're not supposed to have to analyze it or anything like
Yeah.
that. Just watch it and have fun. I think that's why I like these really bad horror movies too, is you just can zone out and just enjoy it. You don't have to think about it. You don't
Yeah.
have to, it's not like a Jallo. It's just a
Yeah.
stupid slasher and you're sitting there, it's like just having fun with it.
Yeah, I'm the same exact way as you, Dana, with that, and I think that's why I enjoy these like dumb little cheesy slasher films and stuff. That's it's not ever going to be on like
Yeah.
greatest films of all time lists or anything. But I mean, a lot of the movies that I love the most are not going to be considered greatest movies of all time. Um, I mean, like Gremlins is my favorite movie of all time, and it's to me, it's a great movie. I love it. It's fun. I love because I love anything involved like with creatures and films and and also puppets and stuff like that. Because that kind of derives from my love for Jim Henson and the Muppets and everything is why, and it just kind of carried over into horror films and stuff too.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like I don't think Gremlins. If I was being unbiased, it's not going to be considered like one of the greatest films of all time.
I don't
But
know.
it's to me it is, and that's all that matters. I think.
And that one's a Christmas movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Batman says, love Jack Frost too, Blair, both the killer snowman and his family snowman. And Blissful brings up, thank you for bringing this up, Blissful. Blissful says, Chris C is up for a horror YouTuber. Please vote for him. So everybody go out and vote for Chris for horror YouTuber.
Awesome.
He does a lot of great stuff on his
Mhm.
channel.
Where can we vote? Where can we vote, Blissful? Do you know?
I'm not sure if because Dirk got it, him and Darren got it last time, and you probably could go on Dirk's channel. Oh, Subjective Perspective Collective. That's Dirk's channel. I had to think for a second. I wanted to make sure I get it right. So I think you can go on his channel and actually put in your vote on there.
Hmm.
Blissful says she'll post a link for everybody too. So, Batman says he got into an argument with another member of another channel, and they said that Leprechaun 4 is the worst movie ever. And I was like, oh, you haven't seen Origins yet.
No, it's Leprechaun 4. No, I mean, it's not great by any means. I love it. I enjoy it. I love all of Leprechaun films. Honestly, even the In the Hood ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I just that's another thing. Just like it brings that humor into horror, and that's one of my favorite things about horror is comedy horror.
Mhm.
But Leprechaun 4 is no, it's by it's far from being the worst movie ever.
That's how I feel about a lot of these movies I watch. Uncle Bill or CK will get on here and say, Dana, these are awful. They're awful movies. And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't gotten, CK talks about the forest. I have yet to get through that movie without going to sleep, but I can get through Terror on Tour. I can get through Final Exam. I can get through The Last Slumber Party, Terror at 10 Killer. All those movies, I can get through them without going to sleep. The forest, it's sitting back there on my shelf. I got to try it again, but I fall asleep every time I watch.
Didn't Joe make a shirt of that one time, Chris?
He did. I have it actually. And I mean, that's one I do like it. But yeah, it's not one that I'll watch a lot on repeat of. Um, but that's just how things are. Everybody's different, that's the wonderful thing about everybody's different when it comes to how they feel about movies. Wes, he likes like his favorite slasher is Madman.
Yep.
And I like Mad Men, but I'm not going to put it probably even on my top 20 slashers. But that's okay because I know not everybody has to like the same
I
stuff.
like Madman, and I did that painting for him.
Mm-hmm.
Madman Mars.
Oh yeah. I think I think I missed a thing in between because Bliss was saying it. I guess it's on Gorophobe's channel. So sorry about
Okay.
that, guys and gals. I missed one in there in the middle, I guess. So Gorophobe must have been the one that won it last time.
Okay. I'll have to look into that. I'd
Yeah,
like to vote for Chris on that.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll go ahead and try to get everybody queued up that is going to be watching along with us tonight. So of course, I have the Blu-ray. Candace, Chris, how are y'all watching it tonight?
So Chris has got me set up here somehow.
Yeah, I've found us a stream for it. It's good. Go.
Okay, so I have mine queued up to the the Columbia Pictures logo. It's got the lady standing there with the torch or whatever you want to call it, and it's got Columbia up above her. So
Up above her. Okay, let me get to that point. Right.
and we'll give everybody, including people in the chat, a couple of minutes to get all queued up and ready to go.
Okay, so you said you had it like marked at where she's standing there with the Columbia logo over her, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
All right. So I'll give everybody else about another minute in case, we've got people that's going to, I hope we got some people that's going to be actually watching the movie along with us.
Yeah, if you can watch this movie, if you've never seen it before, you like comedies, give it a watch. I mean, you're not going to be disappointed with this movie.
I remember me and my mom watching this and just laughing.
It's one of those films that never gets old,
Yeah, it really doesn't. And I think because it's got some of the funniest material in any Michael Keaton movie. I think that's why it's my favorite Michael Keaton film.
You see many different sides of Michael Keaton.
Yeah. And Dana, I was just want to mention one thing before we start while everybody's getting queued up. Have you seen some of the announcements for the Horror Hound in September yet?
I haven't looked here lately. I'm thinking that you're going to tell me something I'm going to like here.
Well, yeah, I think you will. So they've not made any kind of announcements for these yet on social media. But over the weekend they did the Horror Hound Rewind thing that they always do, like a couple weeks after the actual convention, where they show like all these Q&A panels and films from the film festival and just stuff like that. And that they mix in a few little announcements for the next Horror Hound in there too. So they have announced so far 3 people for the Slasher Fest side of Horror Hound coming up. So the first one we got is Lou David, which is Cropsy from The Burning.
Oh, that's exciting me right off there.
Okay, the next one is Peter Cowper from My Bloody Valentine.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose my mind.
And the last one that they have announced for that is Robert Brian Wilson from Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh my gosh, you could not tell me a more dream lineup. There you go.
So
And
that
Robert England on top of that.
yeah,
So
that's already like a fantastic start for like if they were wanting to bring in like slasher fans and stuff for that show. That's a great start for them because that's going. I was kind of hoping maybe they might do like a photo op or something with all the different killers.
That'd
that
be
would
God,
cool.
mhm.
I would love that.
Oh, Blissful, you don't have to worry. I'm already set to go because Robert England is going to be there, and I got to meet Robert England. But this is just a bonus here. What Chris just brought up.
It's going to be
Just
awesome.
imagine if there's any more they're going to be announcing that's going to be cool like that.
I know, because
Well, yeah,
I've always wanted to meet those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that too. I was trying to think of like some other names that they can get for like the slasher fest side of it, and I'm pretty sure. Well, I know Lou David and Peter Cowper are both clients of Sean Clark, and Sean Clark is he's heavily involved with Horror Hound and getting a lot of his clients on those shows. Now I'm pretty sure that he also has Derek McKinnon as a client from Terror Train.
Oh,
So maybe they might get him as well.
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely be interesting. Blair, in answer to your question, Kane Hodder does do a lot of conventions. I mean, he's usually at Scarefest every week in Lexington, or every week, every year. I don't know. It's Sunday. Y'all look over me. Every year, he's usually at Scarefest in Lexington, Kentucky. He was at the last Horror Hound I was at, and Candace and Chris were at. So he's at quite a bit. He's still pretty active on the convention circuit.
Yeah, it's possible that he may be at this next Horror Hound as well, or at least one of the Jason Voorhees will be, because if you look at the dates for that next Horror Hound, because where they always start on a Friday, it's Friday the 13th for that. So I was like, well, they haven't now announced anyone yet, but I mean, if they're going to have it on Friday the 13th, they got to have, and they're having Slasher Fest, they got to have at least one Jason Voorhees there.
Yeah, that would be a very smart move to do it. I don't think they'll pass up that opportunity. But so yes, I am definitely, as long as I'm well as far as my health and stuff like that, I'm planning on being there. But I guess we'll go ahead and do the countdown, and we'll go ahead and get started with the movie, because the movie is just shy of 2 hours, and I know it is a Sunday evening, and a lot of people got work tomorrow. I know Chris has got work. I've got work. Candace is she works too. Let me tell you, taking care of kids and taking care of animals and taking care of a household, that is a full-time job. It's just as much important as an outside job.
Tell Chris that. You hear that?
I'm sure.
I didn't say anything.
I'm kidding.
All right, so we'll go ahead and do the countdown. We'll get started here. So, 3, 2, 1, press play.
And I do have an incense burning in case somebody sees that.
Well, I almost started laughing because I could see the smoke going across there. I was thinking about what Kathy said last time.
I love this opening credits too. Like they show everything they're showing. They show it multiple times, so it's kind of creative that they threw that in there.
I live in a big city, but I couldn't imagine living in a city this big.
Lord, no.
And where was this supposed to be based out of? Was it in Los Angeles, or is this Chicago? Where is this at?
I think it's Los Angeles, I believe.
Either that or like Philly or somewhere like that, wasn't it?
because they got San Bernardino and
Yeah,
Pasadena.
Hollywood.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is Los
Yeah,
Angeles for
Los
sure.
Angeles.
That's right, Batman. Rip Harold Ramis. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, rest in peace. That guy
One of
was
the greats.
comic genius.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, we're big Ghostbusters fans in this household, but you know, I also love a lot of other stuff, including this and Groundhog Day, and you know,
Gosh, I can't imagine being in that kind of traffic. Like if I drove, I couldn't imagine being in that.
That's like a daily thing for some people.
yeah,
I'll be
that's
driving
yeah, I
nuts.
couldn't do that either. I couldn't live in an area where traffic was like that all the time. Especially me and Candace and her brother went to Chicago once for an AC/DC concert, and the people that drive around there, I know they're just it's just how they drive because they're used to that area, but like we're not, and it was terrifying.
Yeah, I've been in Chicago once too, many, many years ago.
That compared nothing to Washington, D.C. My dad took me to see Green Day in Washington, D.C., and my dad was an experienced driver who never got nervous in traffic. I mean, he was a truck driver for a living. That's the only time I've ever seen my dad sweat in traffic. It was crazy. I mean, really crazy traffic. The roads were just weird. All these roundabouts everywhere. I'm like, oh, I hate
Oh
those.
gosh, roundabouts just drive me crazy.
Hmm.
Mm.
I like this part.
This reminds me of something my dad would do. He would start out calm and then he'd go ballistic.
Yeah.
Somebody help me with this guy's name too, because I always know him as the
Oh,
dad from the American Pie movies.
yeah,
Um,
shoot. I know the guy's name. Daggone it. He was
Eugene
is it like
also,
Levy.
Gene something?
Is it Eugene Levy?
yeah, Eugene Levy.
Gene
That's
Levy, there you
My
go.
mom loves a show that he's in called Schitt's Creek. It's got Catherine
right.
O'Hara. Yeah, she she loves him.
Hey, Gory Tiger.
Hey.
He says, "I'm gonna take a drywall hammer and beat you with it."
I mean, that is exactly like my dad. I don't want anybody to think my dad's a crazy mean guy because he's not. But before he retired, he worked at a plant job. And anybody that's worked a plant job knows how them things are. And my dad was mostly calm, but he got into it with a guy that he worked with on the line one time. And the guy was like irritating him. And my dad looked at him and he said, "If you don't shut up right now, I'm going to take a hammer and beat you upside the head." Now he
God.
wouldn't have really done it, but he was mad. This guy had gotten him so aggravated. Um,
Oh my
and
god.
then that guy looked at my dad and said, "Well, you're just crazy."
Am I right though? Michael Keaton plays a perfect angry person in a comedy because he's just funny to see get mad.
Mhm.
It
Like
is even the original Batman, like when Jack Nicholson's Joker, he like confronts Michael Keaton when he's at that like gala or whatever as Bruce Wayne, and then his eyes get big and wide. And he's like, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts." It's just like he's hard to he's trying to be serious and to act crazy, but it's so hard to take it serious because he's so funny as an angry
yeah.
person.
Mhm. And we got Richard Mazur there. I always love Richard
Yeah.
Mazur and stuff too.
Going from the Thing and the It miniseries.
Mhm.
I think he's also
Michael,
the dad in My Girl.
I think part of the reason this movie resonates so much with so many people is the fact that it's, besides the clone and stuff, it's very realistic.
Yeah, it is.
Somebody that feels like they never have enough time to spend with their family, spend with their wife, spend with their kids. Um, what dad hasn't went through that
Yeah,
at some point?
definitely.
Isn't that just like a kid? You know, you don't have to think about it.
What is her name? This lady.
And
Yeah.
What was it?
Andy
And
McDowell,
Yes,
sorry,
yes,
Chris.
that's her name.
which she's also in another Harold Ramis film, Groundhog Day, as the love interest of Bill Murray. So
Yep.
Yeah, she is in that,
I,
isn't she?
I wonder if that was just a friendship that Harold Ramis and her had, because he worked
Oh,
with a
yeah.
lot of his close friends in a lot of his different films. So I'm guessing that he was just close friends with her as well.
Hmm. I love Andi McDowell though. She is so attractive too.
Yeah,
She's a very. It's not a glamorous beautiful, but it's a girl next door
yeah.
beautiful, a normal beautiful, not somebody that looks like they've sat in a makeup chair for about 5 hours and.
She always plays someone kind of like down to earth, it seems.
Mm.
Did she ever go on to do any more acting after the 90s? Because I don't remember seeing her a lot in a lot of stuff
What I'm trying
after the
to think.
90s.
I don't know. I don't ever recall seeing her in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Outside of, around this time period. I mean, like you said, Dana, it does. It's like it touches down on like real life things, like frustrations of working all the time and,
Hmm.
not spending enough time with each other. And it's just sometimes, who hasn't thought, well, if I could just have more than one of myself to complete the,
Oh yeah.
tasks of the day, it's just, it's
That
a true to life thing.
Batman said he wished he could clone himself so he wouldn't have to go to work. And some days, yeah,
Right.
I feel like that too.
Same. Same.
Because sometimes you feel like you're being pulled every which way, this way and that way. Somebody wanting you to come here, somebody wanting you to come there, and you're like, oh, I can't do it all at once.
Hmm.
So, I guess this film kind of touches down on the reality of what would happen if something like that was possible.
Yeah, just kind of
Which is,
bring the fantasy aspect of it to life, to like a what if type situation.
yeah,
There's a scene here getting ready to come up where this is very realistic too. Of she's wanting to go back to work, and
Hmm.
they had this discussion about we said when the kids got older that I would go back to work, and she's clearly upset. She says, "Now I realize I never will," and he's gonna slam down the cereal box and stuff. I mean, Steve and I have had little spats like that. They're not severe, but they're enough to. When you're dealing with a sensitive woman, like I'm real sensitive, I would start crying too, just like she starts crying here.
yeah.
Blissful says more than one of her is a truly frightening thought. No, Blissful.
I just like how in this film, they get mad at each other and they're the same person, but they get like angry with each other. And, it's just the different personalities, I guess, kind of clash. Uh, and I just think it makes a perfect comedy to me.
Because with later in the film, like she has relations with all the different versions of his character, and you're like, well, it's not really cheating because they're all him in some form.
Yeah.
Oh, Batman, I would hope not. He says, I'm afraid that a clone of me would go on a killing spree. And he's like calling
Call an
exorcists.
exorcist.
I guess they could have a bio exorcist like he was in Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a reference.
Could have been.
Like Mr. Mom, it's kind of like how this dynamic is, but it's the fact that he's at home whenever he's used to working, and then she goes to work, and it kind of causes tension in that different way. So I kind of like that's why I like it so much too.
Yeah, Mr. Mom in this movie, they definitely complement each other in a lot of ways.
Now, he's clearly a supervisor, and he said, "Is somebody paying you to watch her ass? Because you're doing a great job of it." And then here's another scene here, and I'm like this too. When the water starts spraying everywhere, and he just goes ape, and he's knocking the pipes around and stuff like that. I get that from my dad. If something messes up, I just go ape on something. I'll almost put my fist through a wall and everything else. I mean, I seem calm on these things, but I can't handle stress like that.
I think we all have a little bit of that in us.
It's easy to feel that way for sure.
And I believe this guy here, the actor is Harris Yulin. He was on that movie Bad Dreams. He was not a very good guy. I don't want to give things away on Bad Dreams if you haven't seen it, but just remember, he's just not a very good guy. But he's good on this, though.
I know him from some other things too, but my mind's blanking right now.
Batman says he's the judge in Ghostbusters 2.
In what?
He's a judge. I was trying to sit here thinking, who is he? Who is he? I know who he is. He's the judge.
In what?
Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, okay. But I know him from something else, though. If I'll think of it here in a minute, I'm sure.
There is a reference to the Fly remake, David Cronenberg's Fly remake here, when he actually does do the cloning.
Mm-hmm.
That I think is funny. Just the way Michael Keaton's delivery of it all is what's so great. And he talks about his uncle who had dental work done, and his voice never sounded the same. That was the other thing that's so funny. And he thinks Harris Yulin's character is a psychiatrist, so he's laying on the couch and talking to him.
I'm not a psychiatrist.
I like when he starts explaining what they do here.
Do you think he kind of looks like Clint Howard there, or is that just me?
No, kind of. If I'm really,
like the old, like Clint Howard now.
Yeah, like through the eyes, like the eyes especially remind me of Clint Howard.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Yeah, I've never noticed that before, but that's Clint Howard. He's got a beard and stuff now. I just like his face whenever he sees him walking.
And I don't know if you guys know this or if anybody in the chat knows this, but the name Doug Kenny, that's Michael Keaton's name in the movie. Doug
Mhm.
Kenny was someone that worked for National Lampoon and worked on a lot of
Mm.
the same movies. And
Mm.
I'm not trying to bum anybody out or anything, but Doug Kenny, he died, and I think he may have committed suicide, but
Oh, goodness.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Mhm.
Wow. No, Michael Keaton, he doesn't really age that much either, I don't think.
No, I mean, he's one of those people that just ages very, very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He's
mean, if you've seen him here recently, I mean, he looks the same. I mean, yeah, sure, he's got like gray hair and everything now, but as far as like his like facial features and everything, he looks the same as he did, here in this
right.
film than he does now.
That would be me. I would hit my head on something, get
That's
ready to
it.
lay down there.
I do that all the time. My mother-in-law's house, when you go in, like she has a ceiling fan in the living room, and like the ceiling is kind of low. Well, it's not probably not to them, but where I'm a tall person, like I'm always not paying attention and hitting my head on that ceiling fan.
Yeah.
I'm just clumsy. I'm
I am too,
clumsy
Dana.
all the time. Um,
I would trip over thin air.
and he just mentioned the Jeff Goldblum thing in the Fly, and
Mhm.
he's like this. I love the Michael Keaton thing, but he's got the real touch and everything like that. Now he's talking about his uncle. He said, "I don't know if he got that suction
Yes.
thing lodged in his throat."
And you said that this guy, he was in Bad Dreams. I'm trying to remember him from Bad Dreams.
He was one of the doctors uh, for the all the people that had that. What did they call it? Um, well, it was a personality disorder, is what it was. All of them that were in that one group.
I got the DVD right here of Bad Dreams. So
Ooh, yeah, I've got the Blu-ray that's got that and visiting hours on it.
And what did you say the actor's name is? Harris
I
Yulin?
think it's Harris Yulin.
Yeah, see, I see that here now because all only person I could remember like a bad guy from Bad Dreams was Richard Lynch, and I was
Yeah,
trying to remember his character in the movie.
I
Chris, is
like
yours?
how it dings like a microwave, going off or something when the clone is made.
Is yours buffering, Chris?
Yeah, it is.
Hmm.
So it's the stream buffering or the movie?
The
The
stream.
movie.
The movie.
Oh, okay. Well, if y'all need me to help you get caught up,
Yeah, if we get it going again, which I know
Yeah,
the
just keep yours going, Dana, and then just like once it stops, we'll get it figured out here. But yeah, like I said, I know the movie how it goes all the way through pretty much, so I ain't gonna miss a whole lot.
y'all probably know this movie backwards and forwards
yeah, we've
anyway.
seen it so many times. So whatever if you talk through it, we'll know where you're at.
So
Just
the clone thinks that he's the original, like he thinks he's the main Doug, and so the doctor actually has to show him he's got a number 2 tattooed behind his ear.
Now, he's the one that kind of is angry, right?
He's the one that's kind of, yeah, he's
Kinda
kind of angry, kind of tough, and
yeah.
no nonsense type of guy. And he says, "What do I feed it?" I hate to say it though, but the clothes that this doctor gives the clones when they go home, those are the lamest clothes I've ever seen in my life. I like this scene too, where he's Michael Keaton's looking at the clone. He's just going around him, and I guess those hospital gowns that are open in the back, and the other guy's just like,
Oh goodness.
You have any luck over there, Cam, with yours? Or
No, I'm gonna have to go somewhere else. Did you say it was on Tubi?
I just looked, I didn't see it on there.
Sorry about that, Dana.
"Oh, that's okay. I hate it for you guys."
Oh, that's okay.
Oh,
Like I
maybe
said, we know it, and we can. If all else fails, we'll. We know what you're talking about.
yeah, you can just kind of keep us up to date where you're at. I'm trying to find another stream for it. I may have to come in there in a second to get you set up too, Ken. So
Okay.
This is funny too, because he's wondering why he's got to stay out in like the guest house or storage building, whatever it is, and he says, I don't think that will work. He says Laura's going to wake up. She's going to say, Doug, you two guys are going to be late. He says that's not going to work. We can't both be in the house. And then so the clone number 2 is telling him that he's whipped. And it's just like two buddies, oh man, you're
Yeah.
whipped.
But number 2, he's like the like you said, the tough guy, and
Yeah, because he immediately puts on this leather jacket.
yeah.
I think Laura comes home about around this time, and they both say, "Hey, honey," and he pushes the other one down asleep. Oh, now they're talking about, bringing Ted down. Ted is like the doofus at work that wants to be top dog around there and tries to show everybody else up.
We all know one of those.
Oh yeah, every job I've had, there's always one of those. There we go. Hey, Laura. Hey, honey. Blissful says she found a copy on YouTube, but it has Spanish subtitles on it.
I usually don't have this much trouble trying to find movies to watch online.
No, I don't know what happened there. That was strange.
Yeah, it was working fine.
So Doug's already there, or 2's already there, and he says to Ted, he says, "Half day, Teddy," because he's already there and doing stuff, and everybody else is just now coming in for the meeting.
I'm gonna send you a link, Chris.
All right.
So now the original Doug is there and doesn't realize that 2's already in the meeting.
Just let me know if that works for you. But where are you at right now, Dana? Are you where
he's talking to the secretary about I'll come back out and I'll have the original shirt on because this is obviously the original Doug, but 2 had another shirt on.
Do you have a time stamp on it?
Let's see. I'm at 27 minutes and 23 seconds.
Okay.
Batman says I had to go to YouTube too because the one movie website shit the bed too, he says.
You said you were at like what, about 28 minutes now, or
20, yeah, almost 28 minutes. Now I'm at 28 minutes exactly.
All right.
Carl Rogerson, he's calling into the office.
I think I'm there.
I have to ask, did anybody have one of those mobile phones that was like the one that Doug has and it's huge?
Like the Zach Morris phones?
Yeah. I never had one, but I've seen them, and I don't know how people pack those around like that.
Yeah, there was a guy in wrestling from the well, he's still in wrestling today, but his name's Paul Heyman. But back then he went by the name Paulie Dangerously, and that was like one of his gimmicks was that he always carried around that huge phone.
Have you got to the outhouse, the porta potty thing?
Not yet. There's Doug and 2 are still talking on the phone. He's talking about he's got all these jobs done. He says, so I guess I'll go over the Palisades. And he said, I already did it, buddy. You know.
I'm at that scene just the port where he just walked by the porta potties and.
Okay, now he just walked past the porta potties, and now Ted's coming out. Hey, Kenny. I would feel like doing this to somebody if they were being a jerk like that, too.
He deserved it.
That reminds me, Dana, did you ever watch the show Jackass?
I don't think I ever actually watched him, but I know what it is, and I've seen scenes from it. I just don't think I ever sat down and watched it.
Well, they did like movies too, like the Jackass movies, and there's one of them, I can't remember which one it is, but there's a scene in it where they had one of the guys from Jackass named Steve-O, and he's in this porta potty, and they like launch it up in the air while he like upside down, and like it just nastiness goes everywhere.
How you could sit in there and do that? I don't know.
It's not soccer. Fall on it. Fall on the ball.
Fall on the ball.
Coach is so upset.
It reminds me. Have you ever seen that soccer movie with Will Ferrell called Kicking and Screaming?
I've never seen that.
I don't think I've seen it either. No.
It's pretty funny, which I'm a big Will Ferrell fan, and just, I like, for some reason I like sports movies that involve kids. Like, you know, I grew up watching The Little Giants, and well, there's one is called, I think it's called The Big Green, which is a soccer movie.
Oh yeah, I always loved The Sandlot. The Sandlot was one of my favorites.
I was getting ready to mention that, like that, The Sandlot is probably one of my top 10 favorite films of all time, because I love that part in The Sandlot when the Beast is chasing after Benny, and they go into the movie theater, and it shows they're showing the Wolfman. It's,
Blissel says Steve-O has cool interviews now.
Yeah. He
yeah,
does.
he has
I
a really
watched
cool
him a lot.
podcast, and he's like sobered up and everything now too.
Yeah,
So
got his life together.
And Blissel also says one that she had forgotten was Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year, yeah.
the
I like
Rookie of the Year and
like Angels
Angels
in
in
the
the
Outfield.
Outfield. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the one with Jonathan Brandis and Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh,
Is that
Ladybugs.
Ladybugs, yeah.
He's kind of got like this house is like all torn to pieces.
Yeah.
Which is also reminiscent of Mr. Mom.
Yeah.
They've got 1,000 jobs that they're wanting to finish, and they just haven't finished any of them.
Yeah. That's me, Dana. That's me and Chris.
Well, you know, I've got stuff all over the house I'm working on.
Yeah, I too.
We've been remodeling it for how long now, Chris? 6 months?
Don't want to get into it. I'm drinking an A&W root beer. Shout out to TJ. We were talking about root beer last night.
And I don't know if y'all noticed what I had earlier, but it was a root beer float.
Oh,
that's the second root beer float I've had of the day.
You were talking about a root beer float the other night, Dana.
Mm-hmm. I had some French vanilla ice cream and A&W zero sugar root beer.
Yeah, that's A&W root beer is probably my favorite root beer. Have you ever ate at one of the A&W restaurants, Dana?
I certainly have.
Have you got the root beer floats from there?
I have gotten a root beer float from there, and they're good too.
Oh man, they're so good. They used to have an A&W restaurant in it's probably about 30 minutes from where we live, a place called Whitesburg. And I don't know if it's there anymore though.
Well, there used to be one, I think, like Stanton or somewhere like
that. There's one in Stanton too. Yeah, but that's a little bit further away from us.
And they took it away, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's all gung-ho about her going back to work. And she says the magic words, let's get to bed early tonight. You know what's on a man's mind when you say that?
Bedtime.
Yeah. It's like, what time is it now? And she tells him, he says, kids, bedtime. I love Eugene Levy.
Yeah. He's a unique character.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what he plays.
My introduction to him was, I may have seen him in something else, but didn't really pay attention before that. But like the first thing I can remember him in was watching him in was the American Pie movies.
Now, didn't he? I forget what it's called though. With oh my goodness, Rick Moranis.
Mm-hmm.
When they were younger, didn't they do a what's it called? You know, the SCTV.
SCTV.
Is that what's it called?
Yeah, he was. And that's funny you mentioned SCTV because Count Floyd just passed away.
Yeah.
I can't think of the actual actor's name, but I always knew him as Count Floyd, which he's also in like some others. He's in like Happy Gilmore and Freaks and Geeks. But like I grew up watching Count Floyd because he was a part of that Martin Short TV show. What's it called, Candace? Gosh, I'm blanking.
My goodness, I can't think of it
either. I know what it is. My mind just blanked on that.
Is Martin Short?
Ed Grimley. Ed Grimley.
He had the
It was
hair that stuck up.
yeah, the Ed Grimley
Yeah.
TV show, and Camp Floyd was like a segment on that,
Yeah.
and but yeah, they're all part of the SCTV, and
Yeah.
do you remember seeing the SCTV skit where Rick Moranis plays Michael McDonald?
Yeah. I've seen that.
It's so
I've seen that
good.
not long ago, actually.
So where can I always wanted to watch SCTV and never got around to it. So is it easily accessible
I
somewhere?
don't
Or?
know.
Yeah, you can find it. I mean, like I said, I find a lot of stuff for free. I have my
Mm,
wife so
So
on,
does Steve.
on the internet, so I just gotta kind of just kind of search for stuff. I don't know anywhere right off at the top of my head that it's at, but I know you can find like a lot of like full skits on YouTube from it.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look into that. Batman, I have seen Heavy Metal from
Heavy metal.
1981, but it's been a long, long time.
Uh, my mom and I and my brother went to see 38 Special, and I can't think of the guy's name right off, but he's currently playing guitar with 38 Special. And he had a song, a guitar, it was just like guitar um song in heavy metal, and he played it at that concert. I forget his name though. Um
I remember you telling me about that because I
yeah,
didn't
remember
get to go
that?
to that
Because I
concert,
had
but
no idea that he was like playing with them, and he played that song that he did for heavy metal. And it was real awesome. Wish I could think of his name though.
Blissful says Eugene Levy was in Bringing Down the House. She says she loves that movie.
that's with Steve Martin and Queen Latifah, right?
I think so. I think that's the one.
I know Queen Latifah's in that. I think that's Steve Martin's in that as well.
Now, the whole scene about I'm not even a parent, unless you count a pet parent, but anybody that's a parent of human children, that thing about he was having to chase her down. And she
Get
didn't
her
want to take
tights
a
on.
shower. She wanted to take a bath. And he said, "You don't have time to take a bath." And then when they get to the dance place to get her picture taken, they say, "That's tomorrow. It's rescheduled to tomorrow." And he
Oh
says, "Get
gosh.
a photographer here right now." That sounds like something else my dad would say, if he had to go through that.
And the lady that was saying it to him, she just like real sweet, like, "Oh, sorry, that's tomorrow."
And again, I said this before, but this almost feels like Mr. Mom in like a different universe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel that way too. There's a lot of similarities.
You're both duty heads. Get upstairs. And then he says, "Can we have some cake?" And he's like, "Get up there." The kids always try that. I tried that stuff when I was a kid.
Oh,
You
yeah.
do one more thing. I'm going to try one more thing here. Oh, now this I have felt just like Andi McDowell here when he tells her, we're gonna have to go back to the way things were before, and she flips him off. I have flipped Steve off. I've been standing in the other room and he said something I didn't like, and I just flipped him off. So I know exactly that feeling. Cause look, this is a dirty thing to do, to take your wife to a fancy restaurant and she says, "Well, what are we celebrating?" Yep. all I do is laundry and I pick up the kids and I take the kids places. I dress the kids and undress them. She says, I've been doing that for 10 years. You've been
Yeah.
doing it for a month.
Like it's the worst thing ever.
But that's sorry, Chris, but that's a man's thought process for
Yeah,
things like that. That, oh
definitely.
my gosh, I've been doing it so long, it's driving me crazy. They don't think about
You
their
know,
wife's been doing it for 10 years or more.
it's not an easy job because I've had to, I've been put in situations where I've had to uh, watch Noah and our nephews Raiden and Henley, all at once. And I'm not. It's just them and me, And like sometimes it can get overwhelming, and I'm like, wow, this, Candace and her mom and everybody, they have to put up with like a lot more than what I do. So I can't imagine how they feel.
Yeah, she's about ready to flip him off here because she says, "No, Doug, this is it."
And Michael Keaton and Andi McDowell had amazing chemistry in this one. And it's kind of hard for me to decide like who he had better chemistry with, her or Terry Garr and Mr. Mom,
Yeah,
because they both had like because like you said
Yeah.
earlier, like this is it's kind of stuff here is like a very real situation in real life too at times, and you feel that with both this movie and with Mr. Mom.
mm.
So
So he's getting ready to see two over there with
yeah.
somebody from work.
And this lady he's on this date with, like, I don't know what it is, but her eyes always kind of remind me of
Christine Applegate.
what's it, Joan. My gosh, why is my brain not working today?
Joan Cusack.
Mine hasn't been working.
Joan Cusack. Her eyes remind me of Joan Cusack.
I think she looks like Christina Applegate.
Well, it's strange that you say that about Joan Cusack, Chris, because I'm not sure if that's Ann Cusack or not, but she is on this movie.
So a sister?
It could be. Now, if I'm wrong, somebody in chat, please tell me I'm wrong here because
This old injury, Rose Bowl.
I fell out the bleachers.
I don't know if I'm quite where you guys are, but he's pretending to be choking.
He's drinking a bunch of water, and she's like, "Do I need to come with you?"
Yeah, he's like holding her face, trying to get her to not look in the other way.
And he says, "How do I look?" And she says, "Crazy." He says, "See, let's order. Let's just order."
I swear, yeah, that she does to me. She looks like Joan Cusack.
Yeah, now that you mention that, you're right. He's like hiding, looking, and she's like, "Are you?" She's looking at him like, "What's going on with you?" Could you just imagine Steve or me imagine Chris just what would we
I like
think?
this too because he's saying, "Boy, everything looks so good." She says, "Doug, that's the wine list."
Just did a thing with a barbecue sauce, he said.
And they go into the bathroom and
yeah, and
like, what are
they're
you
both
doing?
like unzipping their pants the same exact way.
Yeah, and I know you all don't have any experience with this, but I tell you, I have been in a men's bathroom before, standing at one of those urinals, and a guy right next to me starts just trying to have a conversation with me, and I'm telling you, it is the weirdest
Yeah, I
thing.
think Steve has had that happen to him too, and thankfully we get stalls with doors on them.
Yeah, thank
You know,
goodness.
I just I can't. I feel for you guys having to,
Yeah,
do
that'd
that.
be hard.
I can remember I was I was in my late teens, but I remember going in there one time and like I was standing there using the bathroom and the guy next to me was like, "I like those jeans you got on there, buddy."
Oh my
And I'm
God.
like,
Like, don't
and
look at me. Just don't look
I
at
could not get out
Oh
of that
my,
bathroom any faster.
that's creepy.
Yeah, it was. It's very creepy.
And I just wonder if they're just as uncomfortable and that's how they deal with it, trying to make some kind of conversation. I
Maybe.
don't know, but
Well, when stuff like that happens, especially in that situation, like I always feel like I'm on candid camera or something.
somebody's gonna say, "Surprise, you're on candid camera." This
This guy,
this part here where he's almost drowning.
that guy walks in, he like looks surprised at him.
I'm just
Like
gonna go in the stall here.
he's all soaking wet, and it's like this guy's in way over his head.
That's an interesting pattern scheme for those stalls. All that plaid on the door.
Okay, Blissful, we'll probably be here when you get back, so that's fine. I know people have to come and go. He's talking to Noreen about I changed jackets with the guy in the restroom.
Guys do that bedroom all the time. He says, fire
He's
sucks.
drinking that lady's wine.
They've got mixed up. He said water spots. He said, "What happened to your shirt?" And he says, "Water spots."
You must be a little bit ahead of me.
I probably am.
And she's telling him, I don't want to fight about this. And of course, 2 has no idea what she's talking about.
Yeah. He's like, "Do you love me?" And she says, "Of course I love you." He says, "Kiss me."
I think 2 just wants to kiss Doug's
Yeah.
wife. I think that's what they
And Doug's trying to smuggle his
and
Tuesday
then he
out of
puts
there.
the coat over her head.
And
Yeah,
then
you know,
the two's got Laura down like down inside the seat.
yeah, and I think that's what makes this so funny, like with the whole cloning thing. Because if you've watched like other movies that involve cloning, well, not all of them, but there are some where when the clones come out, they also have all of the memories of the original person, and I think it just makes it so funny. Is that like they're all just kind of confused, and this is
Yeah.
because they have no idea what had gone on prior to that.
So 2's about to get a shock here.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're just about to meet 3. And
Yeah.
3 is, I'm going to say this a nice way. 3 is the feminine side of Doug.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about it. Y'all take from that what you want.
And he's really my favorite.
Yeah, I like 3 a lot.
He's the soft side.
Mhm.
Oh, he's not my favorite. My favorite's not showed up yet.
Oh, well, yeah.
And of course, 2's very abrasive. What do we need him for?
He said, "Are you nuts? Are you mentally nuts?" And 2, he's just not happy about this at all.
Mm-mm.
He's like, Doug, you're crazy.
He says, "Hi, Rumi." Batman, I can relate to all four Dougs as well. I mean, I think most people can relate
Yeah, definitely.
because those are all, and they talk about this later in the film. These are all facets of Doug's personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we all have, we have that side that's, sensitive, and we have that side that's crazy, and the side that's, just don't give a care.
Yeah.
And I like how they went about doing that. That each of these clones were, a different part of who Doug was.
Well, except the last one that they made, that was just something they blundered on that.
But I like the way that they describe it. But we're going to get to that. But it definitely works how they describe that. When he takes a sniff of the sandwich. I'm guessing that sandwich had been there for like days, weeks. So we're about to see shoot, there goes my brain again. Bill Murray's brother.
Yeah.
Here very shortly. Brian Doyle Murray.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's the one that played Noah from Wayne's World, right?
Yeah, for Noah's Arcade. Yeah, that's him.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that was Bill Murray's brother.
Yeah,
I
he's
did
also
for a long time.
And then whenever I found out that it was his brother, I'm like, he looks just like him. They look alike. So I couldn't understand after I found that out.
That's another guy that's also in Groundhog Day, along with Andi McDowell.
And he's on at least two of the vacation movies. He's on the first National Lampoon's Vacation. He plays the clerk where they go to stay at these cabins.
Yeah.
And on Christmas Vacation, he plays Clark's boss.
Yeah. Yeah, and the vacation he's like eating an apple or something, and they're wanting to know if it's a swimming pool or watermelon. He's eating watermelon, I think is what it is. And these little cabins are awful.
Batman's talking about on Scrooged has all of Bill Murray's brothers in it.
Oh yeah. Like I just had no idea. And my mom's like, well, didn't you realize that he was in a lot of Bill Murray stuff? So she must have known
several Bill Murray films. Yeah, I think he's also in that one with Richard Dreyfuss. What About Bob? I could be wrong now.
I can't quite remember, but you may be right.
I need to go back and watch What About Bob.
I like that movie.
I love it. I love it.
So Doug has went to a Lakers game.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
He's sneaking back in.
This is so funny, too.
Did you ever have one of those big foam fingers like that, Dana?
I never did. I never had one of those.
Is it number 3, right? That's in there.
Yeah, and he gets super mad here.
Because that was like a rule that he put down that he doesn't want, 2 or 3.
Yeah, the rule number 1. Nobody has sex with my wife but me.
And I just love 3 because he's just so he tries to be so positive about everything.
No matter what's going on.
Yeah, he tries to calm Doug.
And I like to hear he's like, whoa, when they're talking
about it. What do you mean she wanted to go to bed?
Yeah.
He said, "Did you have sex with my wife?"
He said, "What do you mean she wanted to go to bed?" He's like, "No, Douglas."
So I mumbled out there.
Uh, kind of brushed me in that general region. He says, "Brushed you? What do you mean brushed you? She shouldn't even be in the neighborhood." All right,
He's just laying.
he's gonna make the rule now.
He's just laying down the ground rules, and nobody has, relations with his wife except him. And it's
No
all
clone
him.
Mickey.
No clone.
Original Mickey only.
And then Two says, "So did you?"
It's like, no. So he's basically saying that he would have too.
Oh yeah. So I was wrong. This is where we're actually going to see Brian Doyle Murray.
Yeah. He's like Doug's friend, or I don't know if he's his coworker or what he is, but
I think he's just a friend that he knows, because he has this thing where it looks like people are playing bumper boats, but they're supposed to be going sailing is what they're
yeah.
supposed to. Yeah, it was more like bumper cars or something.
I sailed with Walt's t-shirt.
He says, "You don't have any of those I got a refund from Walt shirts, do you?" So yeah, then he's telling Walt that he wants to go sailing and he wants to take his whole family out.
He just don't want to end up like Gilligan.
Yeah. And then he talks about the Harlem Globetrotters. Oh, this scene's funny too. And I think this is where we get the introduction to Four.
Yeah, and that's where the real humor comes in there.
And I think 4 is probably the main reason why this ended up being my favorite Michael Keaton movie, because the movie's wonderful up until that, but like I feel like it just goes into overdrive with the comedy once they introduce 4.
Batman says he didn't see What About Bob in Brian's filmography. But sometimes, though, I will say IMDb, it's rare, but sometimes they do get things wrong on there. So
yeah, like I said, I wasn't sure. I could be wrong on that
I don't remember him on there,
but he's in several of Bill Murray's films, though, along with him.
I'm telling you, I bet Michael Keaton had so much fun with this.
probably. 2 and 3's got these women up there that they're dancing and. 3 is just really, good about it, but 2, he's just like, he knows what he has in mind.
Well, he said Rico.
And he thinks 2's Rico, but 3 is Rico. And the girls ain't gonna like Doug because
No,
he's kind of kicking them out.
they're like, "I was always going to have a party." Well, it's just like, we need some privacy here. Lance and Rico. Oh my goodness.
A mini Mart.
Microwave girls. Oh my goodness. So I guess the Slurpee girls will
The
be the
Slurpee girls were if there was women like that at the mini mart, I would never want my husband to go there.
Yeah.
Well, this is Los Angeles, and I'm sure that there's a lot of women like that in that area.
And Three's like they just so happen to be very nice women, Doug.
Where he talks about her wanting to nuke his corn dog.
Nuke his corn dog. Oh my goodness.
Very suggestive, but it's still funny.
Yeah. That's what's so great about it. Just some of the stuff that they say in here. It's hilarious.
So Doug quit smoking, but two, he's like, well, I'm not you. I'm going to smoke if I want to.
Yeah. Two is just the sleaze bag side of Doug.
He's like, hey, don't ever smoke in my face again.
I'll hit you so hard I'll kill him.
And then just Three is just trying to calm everybody down and
oh, there's Four. He comes back out here.
Well, see, this time it wasn't him. It wasn't Doug who cloned him. So
yeah, it was the other two that
he is the way he is because they cloned him. Whichever one was, went and cloned him. 12.
And I'm going to be politically correct here and not make any. Y'all can make your own assumptions about what is wrong with Four. He said, I'm going to drive a car.
And I think if you're a Michael Keaton fan, I think this is a good movie to watch to see what range he has as an actor.
Yeah, definitely.
What the hell is wrong with him?
He just got a tape measure and he pulls it out and he comes back and hits him. He just falls back on the bed.
He's a little special, but gosh. I don't know how Michael did that without busting out laughing.
I don't know.
Sometimes. So they made a copy from 2 and they explain it. Sometimes you make a copy of a copy, it's not quite as sharp as the original. So now we got to make another rule about no more cloning. We're out.
No more Dougs.
This is plenty, I think.
The book's closed on this one. Oh my gosh.
He's not really eating the pizza so much as he's licking
He's just licking it. I like pizza.
I like it.
That's one of our many quotes that we quote all the time. He thought, I like Steve.
And he calls Doug Steve all the time.
He sticks that pizza in his wallet, sticks it in his pocket.
I guess he's saving it for later.
Like Beetlejuice. Save that one for later.
Oh, yeah. Grab Mrs. Doug.
That woman right there is also in Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler.
That's right.
I can't think of her name though. She almost kind of looks like Adrienne King from the original Friday the 13th with that yellow jacket on.
Yeah, she does. Chris is so much more observant than I am about some of these things. Oh, the thing about the aluminum foil, she thinks he's. Of course, it's 3, so he's very precise and wants to be all neat and tidy.
And she just seen the side of Doug that she just had never seen before. She's like confused by it, I guess, at first, but then she starts like.
Batman says that girl or that woman is Julie Bowen.
Julie Bowen.
Yeah. Like I said, I know her from this, and I know her from Happy Gilmore. I really can't place her in anything else in my mind right now. But yeah, I don't think she was an actress that really like went super far with her career.
I would do in Three's eyes. I would do the aluminum foil thing all wrong because I've rode things. I'm sloppy with the
Yeah, I
aluminum
am
foil.
too. That or cling wrap. I can never wrap anything in cling wrap. That's the worst.
She senses like something's a little off with him because he's like Doug does not act like this.
She's like, that's very nice. And then she says, I've been noticing some things about you lately. And then he starts doing this thing with her hair.
He's like flipping his head back, like trying to get her.
If Steve did that to me, I think he lost his mind.
He says, it just gives it a little height. She's just really confused by what's going on.
And there's Doug. And it's also making her feel like she's losing her mind because Three's going to slip out and Doug's going to come in and he's got totally different clothes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just like, I'm losing it. I'm just.
And he's wanting to show his kid how to walk the dog with the yo-yo. And he said, you just showed me before dinner.
And she's just looking at him. She's like, there's something strange going on here. I can imagine what's going through her mind. Because nothing is adding up with her whenever she's like asking him questions. You know, he just don't know what she's talking about. And the clothes change and...
So now he's not going to know what she's talking about. It's going to come up about Disney World.
Dana, did you ever watch that movie that he was in called The Founder?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I like it. I thought he did a really good job.
There's probably a lot of stuff that I need to watch that I haven't
Me too,
gotten
Nana.
around to.
I'm really behind on a lot of stuff.
Yeah. We've still not watched Thanksgiving yet.
Still not, no.
I still say it's the best Eli Roth movie.
That's
Eh,
what I've heard.
And I don't mean to keep on yawning. I'm just a chronic yawner. Whenever it starts getting dark outside, I start
Well,
start
when I do chronic yawning, it usually means my blood sugar's low. So
Mm,
if I ever start doing that and y'all are on here with me and I'm not noticing,
yeah.
make some kind of signal or something like go eat something or
Okay.
something. Because otherwise, it might not be bad, but I might start acting kind of goofy
You
because
can ask Chris. I yawn more than anybody. When it turns nighttime, it's like it gets in my head and I can't stop. I'm like, will
It
you just stop?
it's so funny too, like because if you're around somebody that's yawning, like it can be contagious
oh yeah,
almost.
definitely.
Because like Candace will start yawning, and then like I'll start yawning, and I'm like, why am I yawning? Like I'm not tired or anything, but
And my eyes water.
it's
Yeah,
just like
mine do that too. Yes.
it's like just they say laughter can be contagious too. Like somebody's laughing, another person will start laughing. I don't know why that is. That's just an interesting thing to me.
And and I and I think a lot of people do this when, not to bring anybody down or anything, but when something bad happens, like and
Hmm.
there's a funeral or something, I
Right.
have had the urge to just bust out laughing, not because it's funny, but I think it's a stress reliever or
Yeah.
something.
Well,
It's
it's like Candace, not like a funeral or anything, but Candace sometimes will start laughing over stuff. Like if I like hurt myself or something, Candace will like start laughing. And she's like, I know it's not funny. She got hurt. She's like, I just can't help it. It's almost like, did you see that movie with Joaquin Phoenix, where the Joker,
Oh yeah.
where he
he has
has
something
like
that
the
causes him to laugh though.
yeah, he laughs at like anything. Like
Mhm.
But
it just it was like a disability he had.
Chris gets
But,
mad at me, but and I don't think he really understands. It runs in my family. My mom does it. I
Mm.
had an aunt that did it. If you hurt yourself, I mean, nothing real serious, but it's something that you can't help. It's not funny. It just it comes and you don't mean to do it.
Well, after Horror Hound and the picture of me and Steve and the Raimi brothers got circulated around, and Wes started that about the position Steve was in. I could not even I didn't want to laugh, but I went in the bedroom to tell Steve about it, and I couldn't even get it out. I was laughing so hard. I was like, I am so sorry, Con, but it just struck me as just funny. And I
well,
couldn't even talk hardly.
the funniest thing about that is not even like Steve or in the position he's in, but it's Sam Raimi's face.
Yeah, look,
it's so funny. I love
like,
that
get
photo
your
of
butt
you
out
guys.
my face, buddy. But I did try to defend poor Steve. He literally had a half a second to get
Yeah.
position where he wanted to
Oh
be.
yeah.
And he knew how important that picture was to me, and he didn't want to be blocking me or anything like
It's a good photo. Great photo, I think.
that. Yep, I've got it. Steve got my shelf put up, so it's right here. I can look at it anytime I want to. So poor Doug um, is going to be very sick here.
He was all for selling, and then
And he says later, he says, I'm sorry I hurled on your dog. What is it? Is he reading the Celestine prophecy? Is that what he's reading? Thought that's what he was reading. It's talking about very pretty nightwear. I love this nightgown that Andi McDowell's got on. I want one like that.
Silky.
It's long. It's not like it's a revealing one. It's just very romantic and beautiful.
It looks like it comes like with one of those robes that kind of hit the floor. You know what I'm talking about? That comes with like nightgowns like that. But 3, he's like...
He's trying to make out like he's sick. Well, because he doesn't want Doug to kill him.
He's not wanting to do it, but then he's got that natural reaction that he does want to do it.
Yeah, I don't know any man that could resist that if a woman kept doing that to him, and an attractive woman like Andi McDowell was doing that.
And he has the same like desires as Doug, because I mean Doug married her, so he's going to have the same attraction to her. So that would be really hard.
Yeah, something else really hard right there.
Chris.
Well, he gave in.
That book, it just falls to the floor.
And she says, I guess you weren't as sick as you thought. I've never seen you cry like that before. I wonder if he was thinking about what Doug did to him when he found out.
He said, well, that one time when the sous vide fell.
I just wonder if that is a woman thing that, like, I'm not trying to be vulgar or anything. I'm just saying after the act, I get hungry sometimes, and I want, he's wanting chocolate and graham crackers, I just wonder if that's a all women thing or it's just something that is...
I think it kind of pertains to men too. Just like, I don't want to go into detail or anything, but that kind of act requires energy, and it takes energy out of you, and usually any kind of thing that you do in life, it requires taking energy out of you. You're usually hungry afterwards.
The bologna.
Who ate all the bologna? And they must have 1 million cereal boxes around.
They must. 4's eating everything in the house.
When you got kids, because I can say from experience, when I was a kid, I loved cereal, and I always wanted my parents to buy a bunch of different cereals to have choices, at all times.
Well, back then also, I think they still give away prizes and stuff, but...
Oh yeah, that was very enticing to kids. Back in the 90s, especially, when they would have the little toys and stuff you could get in cereal boxes. I remember I can't remember what cereal it was, but they used to have these little Disney afternoon characters like Darkwing Duck and DuckTales and Gummy Bears. They had the little figurines of them inside the cereal boxes.
Yeah, they had cool stuff, even back in the 80s too. And the Cracker Jack boxes, the prizes in that, they were a lot better when I was a kid.
They were. I couldn't remember maybe late 90s, early 2000s, I still bought Cracker Jacks, but the only thing you would get was like a sticker or like a tattoo that you could like press on or something. It was,
Yeah, that's all
but,
you get
but
now.
yeah,
Stickers.
you wasn't getting much. But
I
back
think
before
you
that,
would get like rings and stuff,
yeah,
Yeah,
all kinds
yeah,
of different.
definitely. I remember the rings. Yeah.
And my dad, he ate a lot of Cracker Jacks when I was growing up, and he'd say, "Here, Dana, you want the prize?" And then after my brother was born, of course, we'd have to, switch off. I would get one prize, my brother would get another prize, but I'm not so sure. Okay. Two, it
Two.
doesn't take him very
It
long.
don't take him very long. He's all ready and raring to go. I love this part with 4. That
He's
thunder
scared
and
of the
lightning.
storm.
So that was better than the
The
Stairmaster.
Stairmaster, yeah. Well, they say that kind of activity is better than other types of exercises you can do as far as losing weight and toning up and all that.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to wonder how that got there.
No. I'm sure 2 is wild anyway.
Hmm.
He was like, I'll be up in a minute. Sorry, too late for the Volvo. It's going to be soaked if the windows are down. Here goes 4. He's like, I love the way he walks into the house. He's so funny.
he's got his butt stuck out and everything.
Shoulders drawn back. It's so funny. He's just like tiptoeing. He's like,
And he's looking for Steve.
she can't look on his face. It's hilarious. And she's like, "Oh, honey, come upstairs."
It's funny how she doesn't realize that he's got totally different clothes on there.
He just acts like a little kid.
And 3 is in the shower.
Yeah, he's just like wincing and just like he's like, "Oh gosh, they're gonna see me."
Oh my.
And she's drying him off, and she's let me help you off with your pants, and she's like, "Wow." Look on it on his face.
And that's funny. That's totally Michael Keaton breaking the fourth wall there.
I love it. Coming up in a little bit. He's like, yeah, my peppy.
My peppy.
See, that's my peppy, Steve.
And he's just like, well, so much for rule number 1.
Mm. Batman, you mentioned Glenn Shaddix, who is coming up, and he's also in Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Otho.
Otho.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She says some people really shouldn't sail. I haven't ever been on a boat like that, so I don't know how I would do.
I get extreme motion sickness if I'm not driving the car. So I just don't know if I would want to risk it. Chris's sister-in-law and niece went on a big cruise, and weren't they sick half the time, even with taking the motion sickness pills? I think.
Yeah, they were. And, and I can remember years ago, I was about 12, 13 years old. We went to Florida, and Dad had this big idea to get on this like speedboat thing where they took you out the ocean, big real fast boat, and they take you up there by like where the dolphins were and stuff. And my stomach did not agree with that. Yeah, because I was like, we were coming back from the, because they took us out in the ocean, and we were coming back toward the shore, and it just all hit me at once, and like, and like I said, it was on a speedboat, so we were going pretty fast, and like here I am with my head hung over the side of the boat, just
Oh,
throwing up.
uh,
And it really, like a lot of people, like there, I remember too. They were like groaning, like, "Oh, my dad was." It was like he was embarrassed, but he was also worried at the same time because I was throwing up.
So now 2 is very sick, and they're supposed to have an inspection. That's when Glenn Shaddix is going to show up, but 3 says nope, you're not going in, and 4's got a boot on his head. Oh, and he says, "Sorry, Steve, that leg's going to have to come off."
Because a big saw.
This would be me trying to explain something about a construction site to somebody. I'd be like, water pipes, gas line.
That scene back there where 4 had the boot on his head. I wonder if that was Michael Keaton's like idea to dress the way he was dressed, or if that was just something that one of the writers put in there.
I don't know. He's telling the other guy he's got something in his teeth.
Some of these characters in here too, like Glenn Shaddix and Richard Masur, they they're hardly in this movie, but it just impresses me that they had so many, like a wide range of actors in all throughout this.
Sounds like me talking to my dogs, like talking to Sammy. Knock it off, Sammy. Because he's
the look on his face, I'm telling you. As 4, he's hilarious. Just the looks that he gives. He's got those boards attached to those boots, and he's trying to ski.
Batman brings up a good question. He said, "Now here's a good question: does a clone have a soul?" To me, a clone would have a soul because it comes from the original person.
Yeah. I guess it's all just the way you look at it.
Yeah, that's kind of tough, because that mean you're splitting up part of your soul into those clones, or
I just wonder if they share like a soul. They each get a piece of Doug's original soul.
Yeah, that's just, I don't know. I've
never thought about that. That's cool. It's kind of crazy.
Hold on a second.
He's like, this is ridiculous. I think he thinks he's on some kind of drugs or something.
Yeah. And of course, Ted is there to, gloat.
Oh, yeah. It's like alcohol and drugs.
Does he have some tough ones? So this would definitely be bad for a construction company that they can't pass their inspection.
Yeah, because he's like, if you want to keep your license, you better be getting this stuff together. So I don't think Doug's going to be on the job very much longer.
No, so because 3 just got fired.
Yeah.
And this is bad because 2 doesn't feel he's sick. He's trying to find medicine. Laura's going to come home, and yeah, it's not going to end very well here.
He's just being grumpy to her.
Mm-hmm. He says, "What do you want me to do? Give you a medal?" Now that's a bad thing to say to your wife, and she's thinking that that's Doug. So she's thinking, "Why is my husband doing this?"
Just slaps him across his face.
Oh boy! Now she has to come across 4.
Oh my gosh! And then she just thinks everything's just going to bat there.
What is he making anyway?
That's what I was wondering. What is that?
A plane.
It's a creation. Only he knows what it is.
Yeah. She says, I just don't feel like you know me anymore, and it scares me. And he's just sitting there. Like, what is she saying to me?
And that's like me. Once I get sad about one thing, it's just going to go one thing into another. And by the way, this, and this, and Steve's probably like, please, for the love of God, will you stop?
And she just thinks he's ignoring her. And
this is the clincher. I need to know if you still love me. And then she says, tell me what you want. And he wants pizza.
I want pizza. And for him, that's his most authentic self. That's what he wants more than anything. Yeah. And she's just like, what has happened to my husband? I mean, he has absolutely went insane. If having to deal with all of that, I would be like, Chris, we got to figure out what's going on with you. I mean, really, wouldn't you?
And poor Doug he's has no idea what has went on. He's brought flowers for Laura, and he comes in and finds all the clones there in his house. And 3's crying because Laura left.
He's just like, what? But the thing is he willingly left knowing that they could mess it all up. So, I mean, it's his fault. He gets mad because they got him fired.
And I think this movie is a good lesson for people if they're having relationship issues, or if they feel like they're not feeling spending enough time with their partner or whatever. Like it kind of, because once you see how the movie ends coming up, it kind of helps, like everything he realizes he's not spending enough time with his wife and his family and stuff, and it kind of like it teaches him that's I need to change some things here.
I think it teaches him what's really important with his family, because I think everybody, I don't care who you are, loses sight of that from time to time.
Yeah, definitely.
We've been in a lot. Damn near broke the thing off.
Did you sleep with my wife? She's a powerful woman.
He starts picking with the flowers.
He's just finding out that all of them just.
This is my favorite line coming up.
Because he just comes by and sits by him, and
he wasn't even thinking that four would. I think they all were surprised though. And then three's like, trying to explain her way, like, we tried
like, I
to
don't
talk
want to
her.
hear it.
She's just too powerful for us. The four leans over, is like, Steve.
They're all like, except for three that had, he looks uncomfortable, but he saw it.
Yeah, he saw it, so he knows.
So gosh. So now Doug is trying to bribe Four to tell him.
Yeah, and he's eating that spaghetti. It's gross. He's got it all over him. It's all over his shirt.
It's just like a kid, or a baby when they're first learned to eat.
It's like, have you ever seen Big Daddy with Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
When he gets the kid and he just lets that kid just dress however he wants to dress and do whatever he wants to do. It's very similar to that.
I think that's what a lot of men will do. Just let the kid, if the kid wants to dress themselves, it doesn't matter if they have matching socks or whatever. It's just easier that way.
He's just bribing him with Coke.
Yeah. But what's funny is that bottle of Coke is just sitting there, but he won't touch it unless Doug puts some in the glass for him. Where do you put all that stuff?
He looks like a bottomless pit. Just eat that spaghetti.
That's a good observation, Batman. He says, Eugene Levy is the only person to see all four Dougs and doesn't bat an eye. That's definitely correct.
Wonder what that's saying about him.
But for as crazy as Four acts, he listens. He listens more than Doug or the other two clones.
That's true. That is true. He hears a chainsaw. He's like, a chainsaw?
And then he just grabs it and just starts drinking.
Chugging that Coke. He's like, sitting with his hand between them railings and his sock is like pulled halfway off. And he's come up with a plan. He's going to give them shirts with their numbers on it.
And the force just goes on his head. I always like montages like this, though.
Yeah. It's the break in the movie that shows hey, something's coming together finally.
And I've even seen montages like this in a horror movie too, like Haunted Ween. I don't know if that's one that you guys have seen, but it was a film that was filmed. Most of it was filmed in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and some of it was filmed on the Western Kentucky University campus. And they even used one of the fraternity houses on campus as well. But there's a montage scene where the fraternity needs money. because people ain't been paying their dues. And so
Yeah.
they're going to lose their charter if they don't pay it. So they decide to have a haunted house, and the montage is them fixing up this haunted house in this old dilapidated house. But there's an example of a montage that doesn't take place in a movie like this, though.
I don't think I've ever
Well,
seen that movie, but I've heard you talk about it before, Dana.
when I think of montages and horror films, the first one that comes to mind, well, as if you even consider it a montage, I do, but is when in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, when Alice is standing in front of the mirror and she's finally starting to realize she's gained all of these different like abilities, like she can
That's
do
my favorite scene.
karate and stuff like her brother, and you know she all the like the previous, I guess you consider them dream warriors too. uh there she's just gained all of their abilities. She's become the ultimate dream warrior,
Yep.
and it's got that song anything by Drama Rama playing over that scene, and I love that.
Yeah, I love that movie, but that scene alone is my all-time favorite scene in that film.
Me too. And then I think that because of that is why um, Alice ended up becoming my favorite character of all of the Nightmare series. Because you know they really they focused on her character for two films in a row, part 4 and 5, and there's really not. I mean, you can't say that about any other character other than Freddy in the Nightmare films. That there were in two consecutive films. I mean, what
Right.
you could say Kristen. Kristen was in part 3 and part 4, but those were two different actresses. You
Yeah.
know,
Right,
you had
exactly.
Lisa Wilcox playing Alice in both 4 and 5.
And you didn't even have Heather Langenkamp playing in two consecutive
Oh, yeah.
ones.
Oh,
There was
yeah,
one
that's
and
what I'm
then three.
saying.
Yeah,
And I like the transformation that Alice makes too,
yeah.
because it's just like it's great.
I
Yeah,
think all of us that have felt, and me and Candace have talked about this, when you feel less than, you
Yeah.
don't feel like you're part of anything.
Yeah.
When you're that type of person and you see something like that in a movie,
Yeah.
it makes you feel so much better. I don't want to say powerful, but it makes you feel better about yourself.
Gives you
yeah,
hope.
Hmm.
absolutely. It's not, I've been there too, like, cause my bringing up like in school and stuff, it was tough because I was a lot different when I was a kid than I am now,
Me
and I
too.
didn't really find my confidence in myself until, oddly as it is, because we talk about it a lot, but I talk about it a lot because it's one of my favorite things is horror conventions.
Yeah.
I didn't really find, confidence in myself because I've made friends with people like you, Dana, and Wes and Aaron, and people like that, that were a lot like me and kind of came from the same interests and stuff. And I didn't really have that a lot as a kid growing up because,
You find
anything that I
people
like,
you
Mm.
find people that's like minded, and you find people that's
yeah.
like you. So
Mhm.
Which I did know kids growing up that did like
yeah.
horror movies and stuff, but not like I did, and just cared about them as much as I did. And
Mhm.
um, when I would try to like introduce them to newer things like that too, a lot of kids weren't really interested as much as I was. But
Yeah.
Yeah, so a
yeah,
lot of people from my hometown would look at you like you put your clothes on sideways. If you start talking about some of the stuff, it's like, where's this come from? But I think what really brought me out of my shell completely was the horror conventions and
Yeah.
meeting everybody and all of that. And what brought me out of my shyness, because I was extremely shy as a kid growing up, was getting a outside the home job.
Yeah.
Working with the public, that's the fastest
It
way
sure will.
out of your shyness.
Yeah. I started working summer jobs when I was like 14 years old. And, I was like you, Dana, and just like extremely painfully shy. If you were never painfully shy, then you don't realize that being shy can actually be painful. I mean, it's not just a
Yeah,
expression. It's actually hurts to be shy.
yeah.
And just having to go and deal with the public, that kind of starts bringing you out of it. It's hard too when
It
you're like,
definitely does. I've worked in the public before, like, and I've worked at Walmart. I used to work on the grocery side of Walmart, and
mm-hmm,
you would have a lot of interactions with people that way because I'd have multiple customers coming to me all the time, asking me for this or that. Where's
yeah,
that at? You got any of this in the bag? Stuff like that. And I'll be honest with you, while it can, jobs like that can open you up more, I prefer working from home. I'm sorry.
Now I prefer working from
yeah,
home just because it suits my lifestyle now.
yeah.
hmm
But she comes home and sees
Yeah.
this house, and she's just like in awe. I would have been too. That's a beautiful home.
Oh, I love all that wood.
Yeah, it's
All those
beautiful.
natural wood
Completely
cabinets.
different house.
Yeah, definitely. He's got the stairs painted and everything. I would love to have like a big, I don't know what you would call that, with like it's not an awning, it's something, like not a gazebo or patio. I guess it's patio. I would love to have a patio in my backyard
In
like that.
that little pond that
Yeah.
they got in the backyard. Oh, it's so beautiful.
How long did it take them to do this, though? What was the span of time that they got all this work done?
Like 7 hours.
They probably did it in one day because he had to get Laura back. Because if he had waited too long, he probably would have
Yeah.
lost her for good.
Movie time is always movie magic. So
Yeah,
it
they
took a
had to be
long
on
time.
speed or something to get all that work done. That time.
So they're happy for Doug.
He's like, I'm gonna be starting my own business. So that kind of gives him a upper hand anyway.
I would like to work for myself. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do that, but if an opportunity ever opens up, like I've talked about, if my shop takes off, then
Mhm.
I promised Steve that I'd have a part-time job, just to even things out and stuff, which I said, that's fine, but and I'm not telling everybody to go buy stuff from me so I can go quit my full-time job. But that
Yeah.
is my dream. It's always been my dream to
Oh yeah,
work for
definitely.
myself.
Me too,
And
Dana.
that's your best bet, really, anymore, especially in the kind of economy we live in, is to have your own online shop instead of trying to, you know, have a brick and mortar type shop,
Yeah.
especially in the area me and Candace live in, because they're like, me and Candace and you, Dana, and a lot of our friends, they like to buy collectibles, like whether it be with horror or like comic books, whatever. But I'm gonna tell you, in the area we live in, that kind of store does not work because just a majority of the people around here. I mean, there's a select number of people in this area that are interested in that stuff, but majority of people in this area don't care about that stuff.
No.
And we've had two or three, maybe more, shops like that open up around here in the past, and they always fail,
Yeah, they
unfortunately.
don't last, do they?
No.
Yeah.
Um, well, thank you, Blissful. I appreciate that. She says, Dana, I really think your shop will take off.
And I do too. I think that it will. You
Yeah.
got some great stuff. So I think it'll take off.
This
Definitely. I
car,
mean,
I love this car, by the way.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm not sure how long Joe had fast custom shirts before his stuff really took off. Because I didn't know Joe and his shirt company until Dead Pit and everything when they started promoting him. So I'm not sure how long he was doing that before all that.
Oh, Blissful, thank you. She says she's been bragging Dana and Candace up, and people are interested. And Blissful's
Thank
got
you.
connections, so I appreciate you doing that, Blissful.
Yeah, definitely. Poor, I'm telling you, just
So when they leave here, like together, like I wonder what became of all of them. Like, where did they go to? What happened to their lives beyond this?
well,
But
they go and get that company.
they
They
have
start a pizza.
the pizza. Yeah, was it Three Guys from Nowhere
Yeah,
pizza?
Oh, yeah, that does they do show that. I completely forgot about
or
that.
he goes and he's tossing the pizzas. And she's
For
like,
some reason, this is all I like. This is how I always remember them. I always forget about that them opening that pizza
yeah,
shop up.
and I'm
But
so
I always remember this how it ended when they're just leaving in the car.
I love how they ended that because it doesn't just leave it open ended. It shows that they have this awesome life that they've all created and they've all fell into,
Mm.
you know,
You know
society.
what? You know what would have been really cool, but I don't think they would do that now because I think too much time has passed. If they had had a second Multiplicity where they come back to visit Doug, maybe he needs their help again, and they come and help him out.
That would have worked. It really would have. I think it probably still could even work.
Well, I mean, they've been kind of revitalizing Michael Keaton's past films here lately. You know, he did that movie, The Flash, where he came back as Batman.
Yeah.
And that, and then they're doing Beetlejuice now, and um, be cool if they did like they just revitalized Mr. Mom and
Oh my
this.
God.
And,
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Well,
That
but this is
pizza is making me hungry too.
yeah, yeah. I've not ate dinner yet, so I'm
I ate dinner, but I don't know. I gotta have a snack before I go to bed. But
maybe if they brought back like Mr. Mom, they could do like a Mr. Grandma or something like that, where they kind of it focuses on and they bring back the same actors that were played the kids in the original, but they're older and they have their own kids now.
yeah,
I
I
think
think
that would.
that's pushing it. I think that I think that's pushing it just a little bit too far.
okay.
Oh, I
Noreen
agree.
was Ann Cusack, by the way.
So that
Okay,
must be
so
a sister or something.
yeah, because I always thought that actress definitely looked like Joan Cusack. So it looks like that they may be related there.
I thought she looked kind of like like an older version of Christina Applegate, but whenever
I
you
thought
mentioned
that
that,
too.
I could see that whenever you said that. I never thought of that before. But yeah, she does look like Joan Cusack.
Um, Blissful says we're both very talented, Candace. So
Oh, well, thank
Blissful's
you.
always so sweet. I love
I
her.
appreciate that.
Batman, I did not realize that they were doing a remake of Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh,
I didn't know that either.
I love that movie. That's
I do too.
one of my favorite. Like whenever we would like want to have like sleepovers and all that stuff, having like a movie night, we would go rent it. But me and Noah, I think I showed Noah that the first time, probably a few weeks ago. We watched it and he liked
What
it.
he liked it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, he
good.
liked it. He loves all the what I
I
call
always
it
thought that
retro
I
stuff.
always thought I always thought that movie "Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead" is used as a good double feature with Adventures in Babysitting.
It is, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. Two great
Batman.
Because
movies.
Oops, sorry guys. Didn't
I
mean
was just saying, 'cause I think Keith Coogan is in
yeah,
both films
He
actually.
is,
So
yeah,
yeah.
he is. But says that it's a modern take on Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, and it's rated R, which
Yeah.
I don't know about that. He says he thinks it's gonna suck.
It probably will. Nothing's gonna beat the original though, you
Mm-mm.
know. It was made right whenever, movies were they could be that, like what that movie was, and hit work for some
Yeah,
reason.
exactly. So we have we have officially reached the end of, and I'm not saying we can't stay on here for a few more minutes if Chris and Candace are
Yeah, that'd
down
be
for
fine.
that. But I hope if this is the first time you are watching Multiplicity, that you enjoyed it.
Yes.
If it's been a while since you watched it, I hope you enjoyed watching it along with us and hearing us talk a little bit about it. And this was 1996. I was 2
Mhm.
years out of high school because this tells you how old I am. I graduated in 1994.
Chris and I were 10 years old.
Oh, I really feel old now. And who would have thought that I would be doing live streams and watch alongs and stuff like that with you guys? I never dreamed I would know half the people I know
Well,
now.
back then we didn't even think anything like this was possible. So
No.
Like the internet was a thing back in '96. But I mean, nothing like what we have now on the internet.
I didn't get a computer till like 2000, like Christmas 1999, going into 2000.
I'm trying to
So
remember when me and my brother got our first computer, and we didn't have internet till much later. We got a used like IBM computer, and that thing was so dang slow, and you
now,
would have never been able to do what you can do with
yeah.
stuff on that one. But
Now Chris had the internet in the 90s, didn't you, Chris?
Yeah, I think we got internet because that's why I remember like in '96 because like I've said before on here, I'm a big wrestling fan, and like that was like that year was the beginning they started putting out like the websites for the wrestling companies like WWF.com and WCW.com. And that's what I was on like constantly, like checking out the news on those sites and stuff. But even though like I did have the internet and I had a computer like that early on, I was one of the very last of like at least my friend group uh, that got like high speed internet because there for a while and where I lived, where my mom still lives, we all we had still was dial up.
yeah.
And then with dial-up, if you were on the internet, and whoever else lived in the house, they couldn't use the telephone or anything. If you picked
Exactly,
up the
I remember.
telephone, it disconnected you from the internet. But and it would always make that when you were connecting to the internet through dial-up, it would make that like like
So,
sound like connecting, and and I just I hated that sound because, and then my friends, like when they got like DSL or whatever it was called back then, like the high speed internet, and I was still there stuck with dial up, they would come to my house and they would like make fun of like, but it said my computer sounded like it was starting up a lawnmower or something
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
and I think we had AOL for
AOL,
a
I did
while,
too.
and I remember you've got mail,
You've
and
got mail.
Mhm.
Now I can remember the first thing when I got my first computer and we got internet because I didn't get internet until just a little bit later. The first thing that I searched up was Kiss Online or whatever it was back then. I forget what it was, like kiss.com or something like that.
Yeah, well, there was a bunch of different ones with Kiss. There's
It
like
was like
Kiss
the
Vault.
official Kiss
Yeah,
Kiss
they had. I think theirs was the Kiss's official one. I think was
Kiss
KissOnline.com,
Online. That's it. Yeah, Kiss
and
Online.
they had. But I would go to like that one and KissVault.com, and I remember on KissVault.com they would have like all these like picture galleries of all
Yeah,
different band members and just
yeah,
stuff involving Kiss. And it was around that same time when they were showing these Pepsi commercials on TV with the little girl like that with the
yeah.
long hair, and she was dressed up like a member of Kiss. And
Do you remember
I
on that
yeah.
on that kissonline.com where they had a section where it showed celebrities who had been kissed? And it would show like, I don't know, let's just say Britney Spears, or I'm not just pulling somebody out. I don't know if she was on there or not.
oh,
But
that's
she would
where
have
they
the
would take.
makeup on and
Yeah, I
it
do
was
remember that.
I think some of the first stuff I looked up, other than looking up like horror movie stuff because it was a gold mine when I discovered
Yeah.
all these different sites,
Mhm.
was Joe Bob Briggs' site.
Oh,
And
Yes. Yes.
when he was on TNT, and I went to the Monster Vision site, I used to hang out in the. Do you remember, Chris? Do you remember the Monster Vision like rec room where Joe
Yeah,
Bob would
that's
show
what I
up
was
to
getting ready to. When you mentioned that, I was getting ready to. That's what I
yeah.
was thinking of because that was another one. Like, because that was the same year, like '96, when like they started promoting on Monster Vision, the Monster Vision website,
I didn't
and
have
that
that.
was. I think that was the first ever like forums that I ever like discovered
I missed out
on
on
the
that.
internet.
You could have been in the rec room when I was in there, and we did,
Yeah, we
we
probably
didn't
probably were.
know
I was just 10 years old at the time, but I was in there.
You know, the internet seems so cool. Like I said, I didn't get it to 2000,
it.
but it was so much easier to connect with people, even celebrities back then,
Yeah.
because I did, and just I don't know, like all these forums. Like I used to hang out in like the Turner Classic Movie forums or Cartoon Network or TV Land. I love the TV Land stuff. Um, because TV Land had all the stuff I liked on it. Nick at Night, all that good
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
I love Nick at Night. But
Remember the block parties that they used to have, like the
yep,
night
yep,
block party?
exactly.
I miss all that.
But you guys go ahead and talk. I'm going to run to the restroom because I've been sitting here drinking this energy drink, and I'm just going to take myself out of the stream for a little bit. But y'all talk away, and I'll be right back.
And Ken, I don't know if you remember this or not, but like even before the internet, because all with the internet, you was talking about how you can connect with celebrities
Yeah.
easily back then, and um, like they had all these websites and stuff that were like fan dedicated and stuff that you could like reach out to said celebrity or something,
Yeah.
which you can still do that now. Like they have that website Star Tiger that has forums and people put their like the celebrities' addresses on there and stuff. You can reach out to them,
Yeah.
maybe get like an autograph through the mail or something. But before all of that, before the internet, there was they used to make these books
Yeah.
that
I used
had
to get 'em.
all these different celebrities in throughout and it would have their address that
Yeah.
you could take out of that book and just write fan mail to them or whatever. I
Yeah.
remember my friend Brett in school, he had one, and he knew that at that time I was infatuated with Nancy Kerrigan.
Why was
And
you?
because she kind of looked like Heather Langenkamp in a way, and I really like Heather Langenkamp. And I was like begging him to give me her address. I wanted to write a fan letter to, and he was like, "All right, but it's going to be $5."
Oh my God.
He was trying to charge me for her address.
Did you pay
Yeah,
it?
I probably did. I don't remember, but I probably did. And I don't think I
Um,
even ever wrote a letter to her anyway. So
yeah. You used to get them like at the school, the book fair.
yeah, but
And
yeah, I think that's where he got it. He got it at our school book fair.
I remember the one that I had bought. This is how long ago it was. Had like Jaleel White, Steve Urkel,
Yeah.
him on the cover, and probably people from Full House and all that good stuff. The girl that plays Blossom, what's her name?
Oh, Malik
Yeah,
something,
Bollock. I probably
something like
butchered her
that.
name.
I can't remember.
I can't remember. Do you
But
remember
that's
Dana Blossom,
Uh,
the girl that plays Blossom?
what, ma'am?
Malik.
Something like that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because
But I never wrote to you.
she's also on Big Bang Theory,
Yeah.
which I'm not a fan of, but I know she's on there, and she's been the host on Jeopardy a few times
Yes, I
too.
liked her as the host.
I like her a lot better than Ken Jennings.
We'll not get into that.
She's super smart
She
too.
is. Yeah.
Well, my mom watches Jeopardy
Yeah.
and Wheel of Fortune religiously.
Yeah.
Like she watches them every single day, and I tell you, she has a lot to. My mom has a lot to say about Ken Jennings. She can't stand him, and she'll always tell you like, and every time we talk about it, she'll say that same thing. She'll be like, I've noticed that Ken Jennings must have something against women,
Oh my
and
God.
because he's always belittling the women contestants on the show, and I didn't notice that until she said that, and she's right though. I've noticed that he does treat the women contestants a lot differently from the men.
Who knows?
Blissful says she has a really good channel.
Oh,
So that's cool to know too.
I like her. I think she seems really nice.
We were talking about stuff that was on Nick at Night and stuff. Candace, wasn't Wonder Years on Nick at Night at one
Yeah,
time?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Wonder Years, I love that show.
My
growing
favorite
up.
shows. Yeah.
They switched it in and out all the time. I think I can remember that, but they only like played Wonder Years. It seemed like on Nick at Night on Fridays. It seems because like they kind of had like a weekly schedule. Like I know, like Roseanne was a mainstay on Nick at Night
Oh, yeah.
and for a while,
The
and
Monkeys were on Nick at Night for a while.
yeah, it seems like
Early
did they maybe the Cosby Show.
Yeah. Now, some of it was on TV Land. I can't remember what was on TV Land now and what was on
I
Nick
get
at Night.
confused too.
Because TV Land was just, I know it was like the Honeymooners and, it was like really old shows. I know Lucy, I Love Lucy was on Nick at Night for a really long time.
Well, yeah, Nick at Night started before TV Land kind of thing, and
Yeah,
like you said, like, TV Land had like the older shows like I Love Lucy, and Honeymooners and stuff. But I think as time went on, a lot of those shows from Nick at Night transitioned over to TV Land.
Yeah.
And I think there was at one point like I can't remember what year it was. It was probably in the mid 2000s with Nick at Night. They started putting like the shows from regular Nickelodeon, like the live action shows, like Clarissa Explains It All and all that and stuff as part of the Nick at Night lineup.
Really?
But I don't think that lasted very long though.
Wasn't it called Sneak at Night though?
Maybe.
I think it was called Sneak at Night. Pretty sure it was right before Nick at Night would come on. Pretty sure that's how it was. I might be wrong.
I can't remember exactly.
It's been a long time ago. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but oh my gosh, looking back about how far that was.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but then when you really, really think about it, it's like, oh my gosh.
It's crazy how much time has went by.
Well,
I look at it now, like Dana, it's been probably 15 years now since me and you met. 2009. I mean, it don't seem like that, but it definitely is.
It seemed like I just turned around one day and me and Steve had been married 10 years. I was like, how in the heck did that happen?
Oh, it goes by. It really does.
Yeah, my mom says the older you get, the faster time will go.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And that is true. There's no truer words than that right there.
Blissful, I do remember the show Life Goes On. And people are going to think I'm awful, but when that show first came on, I liked it. I enjoyed it. But as the show went on and the kids got older on it, what was the one daughter's name on there? I can't even remember. I remember Corky. I remember her brother.
Oh yeah, I remember that show. Corky.
That's what I was going to ask. Is Life Goes On the one that had the boy with the Down syndrome?
Yeah, you talked about that not too long ago, didn't we, Chris?
Yeah. Because I had forgotten about
that.
Yeah, your mom liked it.
Yeah, my mom.
Yeah,
liked it.
we watched it as a family, but when the kids got older, I didn't like the daughter. Like she just got to be just a super brat, And my mom was like, "Well, Dana, that's sometimes what happens to kids when they
You
grow up." I
know,
said, "I know, but
And
Dana,
that show. Speaking of that show, reminds me of. Did you ever watch Highway to Heaven, Dana?
oh, I love Highway to
yeah,
Heaven.
yeah,
So that where we were talking about life goes on with the character Corky. It reminded me of this episode of Highway to Heaven where there's a boy on there that uh, goes by the name of Arnie, and he's
Yeah,
mentally handicapped.
mhm,
Like the actor's not, but he's just playing a and it's actually Jonathan Franklin who played Isaac in Children of the Corn,
yeah,
mm,
and it took my brother. I mean, years upon years to realize that that was the same person
yeah.
because he played that part so good in that episode of Highway to Heaven. And you like it's kind of like you ever see What's Eating Gilbert Grape
yeah.
and
I
and
need to
Leonardo
Leonardo.
watch
DiCaprio.
that one. I need to. I haven't
Oh,
seen.
it's
So
great. Yeah,
you've
I
never
love the
okay.
movie.
So Leonardo DiCaprio plays a mentally handicapped child in that film because he was a really young when he made that,
Yeah.
and to the point because he was unknown at the time too as an actor. So when they had like sometime I don't know if it was like the Oscars or what it was an award show after that film came out, people were shocked to find out that he wasn't actually mentally handicapped
Mhm.
because he did such a wonderful job in that role in that movie.
Yeah, some actors and actresses are just so good at portraying someone that not just mentally handicapped, but any type of handicap that
Yeah,
Mhm.
sometimes they're just so good that it's unbelievable when you see them. It's just like, let's just say somebody had never seen Tom Hanks in anything else.
yeah.
Just supposing somebody had, and they watch Forrest Gump. Now, Tom Hanks, he is fantastic. I don't care what
Mhm.
anybody says, he's fantastic in the role of Forrest Gump.
He is. I think it's his best movie. That's just my opinion.
I love the Burbs. I
I
can't.
love the Burbs too. It's hard for me. I love Tom Hanks. It's hard for me to pick a favorite
The
movie.
Burbs has such a special place in my heart,
Hmm.
and such a huge movie in my life that I can't let it. I mean, as great as Forrest Gump is, I mean, Forrest Gump is probably technically Tom Hanks' greatest movie, but
Yeah, it is. I mean, because like that, I'm the same way as you. Like
I can't let
my,
it.
my like when it comes to personal favorites, the Burbs I like better than Forrest Gump. But I mean, when I'm just looking at his overall like performance as an actor,
Yeah.
that role as Forrest Gump is just I think it's top tier for him.
Mhm. I also want to remind, I know this is kind of off subject, but I was wanting to remind everybody that's watching, about our show on Friday. If they want to come and join us,
Hmm.
we're going to be showing off vinyl. I think you addressed that maybe at the beginning, but just another reminder if anybody wants to, I don't know if you said anything or not,
I
Dana.
think
Maybe
I talked about it last night when
could have,
were on, but
but
Yeah, we did mention it last night.
anybody who wants to come on and join us, that'd be great. More people we
yeah,
have, the better it's gonna be. If you have
yeah.
albums, I mean, he don't even have to be vinyl. It could be like cassette tapes or anything like that. That's
Or action figures or something. It doesn't
yeah,
even have to be horror related. You
no,
could just show some
just
cool
something that you
things
want
and
to
stuff.
show. Yeah,
Mhm. Because
we're excited.
me and Candace, we are very excited about
Mhm.
the Friday Foolish shows, and we want we want this to be not only about me and Candace,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
we want you guys to share with us. So
Yeah.
as many people that feel comfortable coming
Mhm.
online, live on the stream and talking about stuff and showing things off. Like I say, I hate to have to say this, but some things have transpired, not just recently, but in the past where I feel like I've got to say, we got to keep it relatively clean, and be respectful of other people in the chat, the people that are on the stream, including me and Candace. Please don't be disrespectful to us either. But if you can do those two things, and those are two really small things if you
Yeah.
think about it, then we would absolutely love to have you on
Yeah.
here.
Because we want to encourage more people, the show that I'm on with Dana, um, encourage more people to come on and share things. I mean, it could be anything. If you just want to share a thought,
Yeah. Yeah, or if somebody has, I'm not trying to be sappy or anything. I'm really being serious about this. If you like to write or something, and you've written a poem or
Yeah.
something that you just want to get on here and read, we'll listen to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just want people to feel like that they're a part
Yeah.
of these streams. They're a part of it's me and Candace's stream, but we want you guys to be a part of it.
Yeah. And I think that's what Dana ultimately, tries to do is she tries to extend her generosity and tries to make a nice place for people to come and feel welcome. And she's definitely made me. I mean, I've been Dana's friend for 14 years. I could have came on here a long time ago. It's just I'm not the type of person to do this kind of thing. But Dana was nice enough to ask me to come on here. And I finally gave in. I'm having fun. I mean, I'm starting to really feel more comfortable. I'll be
Mhm.
honest. At first, I was very doubtful. I was like, "There's nobody going to want." But our first show went well,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm starting to feel more comfortable, and I'm like, that's really nice of Dana to want me to come on here and trust in me. That's why I did it to begin with, but now it's like I'm looking forward to this. This is really, it's fun, and um, so yeah, I think that's Dana's number one thing is to make people feel like they're involved and that
Mhm.
there's a safe space to come on and just
Safe
have
space,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm really thankful, Dana, again, that you've entrusted in me to come on here and
well,
share a
I
show with
couldn't,
you.
other than Chris and TJ and when CK and Uncle Bill come
Yeah,
on, I couldn't think of anybody better to have on here with me, than to have a friend. Hey, I've been trying to get Blissful's gonna think I'm picking on her. I've been trying to get Blissful on here, audio only. I told her you don't even have to come on camera,
Hey,
Blissful.
she made a deal last night that if you get to so many, I can't remember how many subscribers it
Chris,
was, but she agreed that she
Yeah,
would come
TJ
on
took
here.
a screenshot of the chat too. So
I was nervous at first. I'm not gonna
I
sit and
think
lie and say that I
everybody is.
wasn't, but, it wasn't as bad as I thought. And, I've really start looking forward to stuff. I was looking forward to this, tonight, and I'm like, "Man, I'm glad that Dana, trusts me and you." I was telling Chris this, I said, "Trust us enough to have us on there."
Well, I mean, I've I've known you guys for a lot of years, and you have never betrayed that trust. So I had no reason to not have you guys on here. And you guys, I would expect y'all to stay the same until the end of time or the end of your life or whatever, because you guys just aren't like that. Some people flip flop. Some
Yeah.
people are very fickle. They'll be one way with one group of people and they'll be another way with another group of people. But you guys stay true to who you are, no matter who you are around. You
Well,
don't
thank
just
you.
change your personality to be around other people.
Thank you, Dan. I'm glad you
Yeah,
feel that.
really,
We feel that same way about you too, and a
definitely.
lot of our friends. But you in particular, like what I agree with Candace, what she was saying, like you have really kind of opened us up more to come on here freely and talk with you on these streams and stuff. I've done this stuff in the past too with like Wes and Aaron on Dead Pit and stuff, but not like as frequently as I've been doing it with you. And like, so, and then I've had people ask me like several times, like, when are you going to get your own channel? When are, you going to show off some of your collection or whatever on videos? And I was like, well, I'll get around to it eventually. And I just always just really had this like, lack of confidence to do that, because I was like, what is anybody really going to care if I do that and stuff? But doing these videos and streams and stuff with you, Dana, has really kind of, put that back into my mind here recently, and to bring the confidence back to maybe do this. So I am, I haven't really told anybody other than Candace, but I'm been coming up with maybe some ideas here that
we have a channel, that we're kind of working on. And
yeah, well, we're doing that, but I was going to kind of do 1, 2, like I do my own, like where it would just be me, and I could. Because I know that there's a lot of things that nobody else is going to want to talk about that I'm talking about.
Well, you'd be surprised, Chris. I didn't think anybody would want to listen to me ramble on about stuff either. But
I've always found you really interested, Dana. I think that's why we hit it off so quickly when we did meet each other. Because Chris, I remember, never forget it, when we first started dating, he said, "You'll love my friend Dana." You and her hit it off. She's real quiet, kind of laid back like you, but she's, really knowledgeable about all this stuff. And we met each other. It was just like instant friendship. And
it's like when I met Candace, it was like we'd already been friends for 10 years.
It's the strangest thing. And, with Abby, I felt that too, because she's kind of like us. And it's just like, it's a great thing when you find somebody that you feel that connection with. So, and here we are 14 years later, going strong as ever.
Yeah, I've always done that, Dana, with anybody, not just Candace, with anybody. I've always put you over, as like,
I'm flattered.
Dana is a wonderful person. I think anybody would love to, be your friend.
Yeah.
Well, I really need that now. I'm not going to go into details, but I really need to hear that now from people. So I appreciate you saying that. I do. I was going to read a few of these because Batman said a nice thing, and he said it's an honor and a privilege to be on the stream, and I've loved having you on the streams, Batman, when you've been on there for some of the watch-alongs and things. Blissel says she knew TJ'd take a screenshot. Well, yeah, TJ's gonna. He had to mark that so we don't forget that. Batman says 179 to go. Woo! Well, actually, I don't know if Blissful is going to come on at that time, but I think she wants a few more. But I did promise TJ that when I get to 1,000 subscribers, and Chris knows this too, I said I would do a cosplay for Cheryl from The Evil Dead. I will cosplay Cheryl.
Chris told me about that because I must have missed that part when I was cooking last night. But I was like, oh.
So if you guys tell
TJ said
everybody to subscribe.
TJ said that when you do the cosplay, you got to watch Evil Dead 2013.
Oh my gosh.
I'll do it. I will do it for that. As much as I dislike that movie, I will.
No, I think you just messing around. I think it would be better if you did do the cosplay thing. It would just
I tell you what, I could do the cosplay and watch Evil Dead 2013.
Yeah, you could. I mean, but I think it would be more fitting to watch the original. I mean, because have you ever done a watch along to the original Evil Dead, Dana?
I have not yet, but I do have it on my schedule, Chris.
Well, you gotta save that for the cosplay. You gotta save the cosplay for that.
I may have to move the movies up a little bit if I get. I don't know. I'm not trying to be catty or anything. I don't know when I'll get to 1,000 subscribers, but I'm about 821 I think I got 821
Yeah, that's
subscribers.
awesome, man. Still, I mean, like, like I said, if I ever do start my channel, like I don't even expect to get that many.
Well, I didn't ever expect that I would get as many as I have, and I'm not saying these people are hanging on every word I say or they're watching every stream, but at least they're interested enough. Something has caught their interest where they subscribe and they're thinking, "Hey, I might like to go back and see what this girl's talking about." Um, oh, thank you, Blissful. You say you feel very blessed to have me as a friend. I appreciate that. I have more friends now, and I'm talking about real friends. There's a big difference between people that pretend to be your friend because they want something from you or whatever. And there's no shortage of people like that. But true friends are very rare. And I feel very blessed to have the true friends that I have. And
Yeah.
Blissful's in there, Chris is in there, Candace is in there. You know, I won't keep going because I'm sure to leave somebody out, but you know who you are. Um, it's just that I'm thinking about the people that are here now, so I don't want to like leave anybody out. But I've met so many. When I start going to horror conventions, that's where I've met these really unique and special people. And then I'm going to, as much as I hate to, and I'm being sarcastic about this, I hate to give Wes any more credit than he's already taken for different things. But, uh, if I hadn't discovered Dead Pit, I don't think that I still would have met all the people that I know now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree with that
Yeah.
because I think I have Wes and Aaron to thank for that too because one of my very close friends was hanging out with a lot at the time, Justin Owens.
yeah, just
He was the one that introduced me to Dead Pit, and then they had the Dead Pit message board and everything back then too, and that's where I met a lot of you guys
Yeah.
before I ever met you in person was on that message board.
yeah,
And so I have Wes and Aaron to thank for
Yeah.
meeting
I
people
do
like
too.
you and Steve and Joe and
Mhm.
everybody.
Abby and everybody.
yeah,
It's just meant to be, I guess.
yeah. Everything at that point in time seemed to fall into
It
place,
did.
like puzzle
Yeah.
pieces falling into place.
And those were such good times too.
Yep.
You
I
know.
go back and I look. Do y'all remember that picture we all took together at Scarefest? Or
Yeah.
there were
Oh,
several.
like we're like doing the Charleston or whatever.
Yeah.
We got
It's
our
one of
legs
those
stuck out
occasions where we all were there together, the majority
there.
of it.
Yeah,
We had such a
I
huge
love that
group.
picture.
And my mom, I remember my mom looking at those pictures and she said, Dana, you do look really happy there. Because
Mhm.
me and Steve were dating at that
Yeah.
time, seriously. And um, it just seemed like everything was I was at the pinnacle of happiness at that point
Yeah.
in time. I'm not saying I'm not happy now, but I'm just saying that was one of those golden star
Yeah.
moments. That
Well,
when
it was also because that was during a time when conventions were more affordable, so I was happy about that too.
Right before the craze happened.
before things got just completely insane, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna get something to show you guys.
oh, cool. I can't wait to see more pictures of uh, the Mothman. Are you still working on your Mothman
Yeah,
figure?
in your doll. But I'm gonna save it so that I think you'll be more surprised whenever.
Okay, cool.
But speaking of dolls, because I moved my little wicker, vintage wicker shelf over there,
Sure.
and I stuck this on there, and he's dirty. Now he's supposed to be like white,
Uh-huh.
but you know who this is?
Ah,
It's
looks very.
Casper.
Oh my
The
gosh.
Mattel Casper from 1962. See that?
He
Wow.
still works. Too.
And he sounds really creepy. He's got a little record inside of him.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you can hear that or not,
Yeah.
but Chris thinks he's creepy. But
I don't think. No, I don't think that one's creepy. I like that one actually because I love Casper though.
Yeah.
No, I was like, we found that in a thrift store here in Hazard for like $8.
I know that he's worn and all that, but I love him just the same.
I was happy to pick that one up. But any
Yeah.
other doll, I can't say the same, but I was happy to get that one for you.
I'd love to have one that's in really good shape though, because I love these dolls like this, the little pull string dolls. But yeah, I seen him peeking over there, so I'm gonna show that off.
Blissful says, "Oh, okay, a doll I like."
It's really rough feeling too, like the inside. I'm sure that it's untelling what's inside of him.
I got 2 plush dolls sitting in front of me right here that also talk, and I'm sure you have them too, Dana.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. You can't see them, but they're way back there on top of the shelf. My Joe, Bob, and Darcy.
Yeah, I don't really mess with the voice box in much because I don't want that to get run out because there's no way of like opening up the doll to replace the battery or anything.
Batman says, or he's asking, in the future, are you guys doing the watch along for Kiss Fam of the Park? I will do it if I can find a copy of it to watch, Batman.
Oh, I'd like that.
And he says,
So can we also do a watch along for Detroit Rock City? Man, that would be awesome because I love Detroit Rock City. To me,
I own Detroit Rock City.
Yeah,
so.
I do too. I mean, I love it. It's probably one of like music-based movies. It's one of my favorites, absolutely. It involves my favorite band of all time, Kiss, and but that the soundtrack for Detroit Rock City to me is one of the best soundtracks ever because it's got Kiss songs in there, but it also mixes in AC/DC, Van Halen. Cheap Trick. There's all kinds of good music in there.
Cheap Trick.
I love Cheap Trick too, but I'll never forget going and watching that movie. My mom, she took my brother, I think, to see maybe Spy Kids or something like that, whatever was on at the time. And then I went into an empty theater, so I got to watch it to myself. And right at the parts where it was kind of getting a little bit risque, there comes my mom and brother in there. Their movie had ended before that was over with, so I was like, oh gosh.
And that's another movie that we mentioned him earlier, the guy that played Count Floyd from SCTV. He's also in Detroit Rock City. He plays the priest at the Catholic Church that the character Jam had like the interview with him, and then Edward Furlong's character Hawk comes in with like this pizza that they took from the pizza delivery man outside, and they put all these shrooms all over the pizza. So the priest is like eating that pizza, and he starts tripping out on it and stuff.
Yeah, I love everything about Detroit Rock City.
I love it.
Me and Shay.
Speaking of Lynn Shay, there's a rumor, Dana, that she may be a whorehound.
Oh boy, I better be saving some serious money.
Have you met her?
I've never met her.
She's really nice.
She was at Scarefest one year.
I have her on Facebook. She comments on some of my stuff sometimes.
Yeah, she's really cool.
I hear Sammy whining back there. I don't know if everybody else can hear him whining, but Blissful says she could get a few of her friends to join on panel if we did that. So, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And Batman says the Black Sabbath, Thin Lizzy, and even the David Naughton disco song.
Yeah, that's right. They play. I'm pretty sure is it Iron Man that they play in Detroit Rock City. Um,
I think so.
and
I think Iron Man's on there.
and I think the Thin Lizzy song might be Jailbreak.
Yeah,
Tonight you gonna be a jailbreak.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
I think
that's
so.
in there.
yeah. I do love that soundtrack. I wish
It's
Steve would watch
awesome.
Detroit Rock City with me, but he's like, I don't really care for Kiss, Dana. And I was
Oh
like,
my
well,
goodness.
whatever.
What does
Please.
Steve like?
He likes
Real.
sleep. He likes sleep. That's
Like,
what he likes. At this stage in his life, he likes sleep and not much
I
else.
know. I know he liked that sushi pretty good. We ate at that Japanese place
all
after
right.
Horrorland. Cause I
Did we
got the
get
same
sushi?
thing that he did, and it was great. Yeah,
The
I can't
sushi
Yeah.
remember what it's
was
called.
good, but that was probably the best teriyaki chicken with fried
Mm,
rice I've ever had in my entire life.
It looked good.
yeah.
I came
It
very
did.
close to
No,
ordering a
it was
plate
good.
myself.
Oh, Batman says Jailbreak and The Boys Are Back in Town.
Yeah, that's
List.
right.
Yeah, that's
I
why
think
they did play Boys Are Back in
yeah.
Town. I forgot about that.
Mhm. Yeah, that's making me excited about. I may have to pull out Detroit Rock City and just watch it just for the heck of it.
It's been
No
Yeah.
years since I've watched it.
reason.
I don't have it on a physical copy, but I bought it on Vudu like years ago.
Yeah.
So I have it.
I don't have a Blu-ray of it, but I believe I've got a like one of those snap case DVDs of it. I hate those snap cases, but I love that movie though.
You know, Kansas brother CJ, he loves those Snapcase
Does he
DVDs for some
really?
reason. Like I don't know. I guess it's how they look because you know how you take the snap off of it and it kind of opens up like and it's like a kind of a cardboard feel
Yeah.
to it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's got you know the cover, and then on the back of that, there's like it shows like a photo from something from the movie or something. And it'll have like all these different like scene titles that you can like skip to on the DVD.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes collecting those for some reason, but I'm not much into them either. Honestly,
I just feel like they seem flimsy, like they're just gonna break, like that snap part of it's just gonna break off or something. Uh,
yeah, because I think the one of the first ones I ever got many years ago was the Creep Show DVD that they released like that, and it just bothered me. I was like, when I got it, I was like, man, it's awesome. I got Creep Show on DVD, but I was like, I feel like this case is gonna like fall apart.
yeah, exactly. And I had a little weenie dog when I was still living at home with my parents, and his name was Shorty, and I love that little dog. But here's a little tip for you guys and gals that have movies or other things that mean a lot to you. Even though your dog means a lot to you, you got to be real careful. Because what I did was I went out of town and went to visit my cousin Heather at college. And while I was gone, Shorty got upset that Mama wasn't home with him, and he snuck into my room, and I had several of those little snap cases or
Oh,
the thin case DVDs, and he chewed on like at least three of them.
oh
The
goodness.
ET one, and there was a couple of others he did.
Yeah,
Guys,
me
I'm
and Ken,
going to step away for just a second and get Sammy before he wakes Steve up. But y'all go ahead.
but me and Cass know all about that when it comes to dogs getting a hold of things that they're not supposed
Oh,
to.
I don't even talk about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories we can tell on that. I'll tell you one that I don't care to tell it, but um, I had a really nice collection going of Nintendo Switch video games,
Mhm.
and we probably had around like 25 or more different games. And I love how those Switch game cases are made, and they look really nice when you put them all together on the shelf because they all have that like red border on the spine with the title of the game. And but we had this entertainment center in our living room and I had all those games like on the bottom portion of that entertainment center. And this was like early on when we got our dog Ghost. So he was still, I guess, going like his whole teething era. And we went out somewhere. I don't know if we went out to dinner or whatever, where it was. We went that night. We came back and I walk into the house and hear all these Nintendo Switch game cases laying everywhere across the living room floor. And almost every single one of them all chewed to absolute
Oh,
pieces. And oh my gosh, it broke my heart so bad because I had to just throw all of those away. And luckily it didn't affect the actual
Yeah.
games themselves that were in the cases. But yeah, just like I said, I really loved having those cases because they really displayed well because they were kind of, like I said, all the same looking on the spine. And I don't know, like I'm real particular about that kind of stuff. Um,
me
and
too.
it just hurts me to know that I don't have those anymore.
Uh, let's see. Ben's in here. Hey, Ben. And poor Batman says he used to have a Slipknot live at download concert. My brother had a pit bull that chewed. Boy, did I want to chew her up. Well, I've got a pit bull mix, Reggie, and when we first got him, it was around Christmas time, and he chewed up a couple of my ornaments off the tree. He pulled the little Christmas balls and another
Yeah.
ornament off and chewed them up. And I said, "Well, that's it, boy. We're gonna have to get a crate for you. We're gonna have to crate you when we leave."
Wasn't there one time you said, Candace, that like your dog Jed, CJ had just bought like a wrestling DVD or something, and he had literally had just got it,
He had
and
bought 2 of the big brand new box sets, wrestling box sets at Kmart when these were like $30, $40 piece. And we had a basset hound named Jed, and literally we wasn't in the house 5 minutes. My brother set the bag, the Kmart bag down in his chair. He had like a gaming chair. Back then the gaming chairs were like the rocker chairs, we'd call them.
Right.
Wasn't really a gaming chair, but it was a chair that had like surround sound in it. And you could watch movies, like hook up your DVD player or whatever
Yeah,
to
those
it.
were cool.
Yeah. Well, he stuck the Kmart bag down in it and walked out to get like a Coke or something like that, and walked back in. In that length of time, he had chewed, and there was money in the bag. You know how sometimes you buy something and you throw
Oh,
money down in the
yep,
bag?
yep.
It was like $20 or $30 down in the bag. He had chewed it all to pieces. The DVDs were just crunched
Oh,
and just I was like, "Oh my god," and he was a kid, he's like, what, I don't know, maybe 11 or 12 at the time, and he was upset. My mom said, "Well, you knew that he was in there, you know that he has a chewing problem, you shouldn't have left it." But it was upsetting, it really was.
well, I
No
knew that
apologies.
I knew that Shorty by the time I did this, I knew that Shorty liked to choose things, and I had it was either a Gore Zone or a Fangoria magazine. I had left it on the arm of the couch. I left it open. I was reading an article out of it, and I got up to either get something to drink or to say something to mom. And in that short span of time, Shorty jumped up on the couch and tore the whole page out of the magazine. Oh my God.
no, no.
But what could I do? I mean, I wasn't going to whip him. I yelled, and he, of course, did the dachshund thing where he looked down his long nose at me, like,
Oh.
and you can't.
You
When they
wanna
look
be
at
mad
you,
at them, but you just can't be. I mean, it's I mean, you are mad at first, but you just can't do anything about it because I mean, they're innocent.
Reggie does the same thing. He'll cast his eyes down,
Oh.
and you just can't. I've spanked him before. I've slapped him on his back leg or something for doing something, and he'll go like, "Mama, I can't believe you
Yeah,
did that."
Ghost is just like that. Like I won't even know yet that he has done something, but as soon as like he runs into me and
on
sees
himself.
me, he puts his head down and his ears drop like and they're pinned back, and I'm like, "What did you do?"
Yeah.
And here I am on a search around the house trying to find out what
Trying to
he's done.
find what it is.
What he's
He just tells on
destroyed or
himself. He just tells on himself.
dogs are real good about telling on themselves.
Yeah,
The
they do.
guilt all over their face.
Oh goodness.
I think they're worse than kids. I think kids can hide guilt better than a dog can.
Yeah.
But guys and gals and Chris and Candace, I
Mhm.
have loved this once again, and I really hate to get off here, but I was just glancing down at the time, and it's 10:16 now, and I've got a couple of things I got to do before, and I owe Candace a message because I didn't have a chance to listen to her message before I got on here because I was almost falling asleep on the couch watching movies, and
Yeah.
oh, Candace sent me a message.
And before we go, Dana, I just want to say, like, kind of like what you said, like my least. I was telling Cass about this last night. My least favorite thing about these streams is when I have to leave them
When you have to get
because
off. Yeah.
because I really like me and Cass both we do love talking to you. I know there's a lot of people in chat that love hearing you and you talk to them, and that's really one of personally one of my favorite things is just to sit here and just have the conversations that we do.
Oh yeah. It's it's just I think it's been, I know this is kind of cliche to say, but it's been a game changer for me because prior to doing these on a regular basis, I was just like, I mean, I love Steve and we spend time together and all that. But sometimes you just got to, like said before me and Candace started doing the Friday Foolish, you just got to kick out the jams with your friends. I know
Mhm.
that's old school saying that, but it's true though. It's sometimes you just got to hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I know Candace and Chris are married and they're on these together sometimes, but we're still with friends too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
we like doing our own thing sometimes too. Like because sometimes Candace will want to do stuff and that I don't want to do, and vice versa. Like I know because like Candace, she used to be a wrestling fan when I got with her, but now it's like she's like, "You're a little bit too much into this wrestling." But
Well, no, it's not that. I don't care about the newer wrestling, as much as I did whenever I first met him.
right.
Plus he watches it all the time and it's like,
Mm,
I loved it, but you kinda
I don't
you
think Steve
change.
I don't think Steve is as much into all the wrestling stuff
Yeah.
as he was when we first started dating.
People change.
Mm.
yeah,
But
that's true.
Batman says great stream. Thank you,
Thank
Batman.
you.
Appreciate that. Blissful says great live, guys.
Thank
So
you.
thank you, Blissful. And so once
I've
again,
had fun.
I have too. I always do with you guys. Um, but I want to thank Candace and Chris for being on here for this watch along. Um, you guys got an open invitation to come back anytime that you want to. And of course, me and Candace do have the regular show, the Friday
Yeah.
Foolish.
Looking forward to that.
So pull out all your collectible
Yeah.
stuff or just stuff you want to show off. It
Well, we
doesn't
wanna have you on
necessarily.
here.
Yep, we definitely.
Yeah.
Um, Batman, you'll find your horror queen. You will find her. She's out there for you. I didn't think I'd ever find my horror king, but
Yeah.
I
It happens.
yeah. There's somebody out there for
There
everybody.
is.
This means
Mhm.
that sometimes it may take a little bit longer to find
Yep.
them, but you will find them. Um, But I want to thank everybody that was in the chat tonight. It's been an active chat once again,
Mhm.
and I appreciate that. and we've had more people pop in even after the movie was over when we're just sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
There'll be a few people in when you're talking about the movie, but when the floodgates open is sometimes after the movie is over.
Yeah.
Blissful, you are right. Everything has a time and a
Yeah,
place.
it does.
And Sammy's having a fit out there, so I'm going to have to make sure I get him in here soon. But I guess we'll tie this one up, and I just want to remind everybody to be kind to each other and to blaze that trail. And you may think that you don't have a talent, but everybody has a talent. They don't have the same talent, you know, but everybody has a talent. So, you know, find that talent and you just blaze that trail.
Yeah.
And we will see everybody next time. I'm going to be doing Stephen's Kingdom tomorrow night at 8. And I'll just remind everybody that I will be talking about Hearts in Atlantis, Rose Red, and Dreamcatcher. So if anybody wants to join me on there for that, let me know so I can get you the link so you can come on. And then there'll be another Everybody Wants England, and it might be a toss-up which movies I'm covering because some of them I have a hard time finding, especially if they're made for TV things that Robert England was on. But I'm going to try my best. But that'll be coming up at the beginning of the week. And so we're going to say goodnight for now, and we'll see everybody next time. So good night, Chris.
Everyone.
Chat.
Bye, Dana.
Bye, Dana. Bye, chat.
Guys.
Bye.